بديت أشوف نور بسيط جدا في هذا الظلام. سنة باند موضوع جدا مؤلم كان، وما كنت متقبل أو مستوعب الفكرة اللي صارت، وهذا مو سبب وجهني أنا أوقف اللعبة، أنا لازم أكمل. خلص الباند سنة كاملة كنت أشتغل وأتدرب. جاء الوقت اللي أنا يكون عندي حصاد للتعب اللي أنا تعبته بالسنة كاملة.
أنا حاسة أنه للحين طفل، حتى جاء الموقف الصعب.
كنا بالرياض مسوين بوت كامب عشان نلعب بيمسل 2025، كانت أهل لكأس العالم. أن الوالد بالمستشفى، أخوي أرسل مسج بالجروب إنه يلا عشان بروح المستشفى عند أبوي، ودريت بالصدفة واتصلت للوالد قلت له أنا راح أرجع الكويت. كنت مشتت كثير، كان عقلي بالكويت وجسمي بالرياض، مستواي نزل بشكل كبير.
قال لا بجي وأصر علي، قلت لا تجي يا أبوي، أنا أبيك ساتان مو ضعيف، أبيك ساتان القوي.
سبحان الله، رب الضارة النافعة، الوالد رجع الحمد لله، رجعت لصحته، وكان هذا دافع لي بأن أنا ما استسلمت، بالعكس طورت من نفسي. بعدين جاء الوقت اللي أنا حسيت أنه لازم أقدم أفضل ما عندي. PMSL سيزون 2 2025.
هكذا يكتب المجد، هذا الساتان ويبحث عن المجد والانتصارات.
كأن الله كان مخبي لي شيء أعظم بكثير من الأشياء اللي أنا مريت فيها.
من هو الMVP بقصة ساتان؟
أبوي.
والله يا حمزة يا ابني، يعني اعتمدت على الله ثم عليك للأمانة. أول شغلة يعني كنت أعتبرك طفل، جربتك بالمستشفى قلت لي جاييك يا أبوي، قلت لك لا تجي. حسيتك أنك وقفت مع أخوانك يعرشون بالبيت كأني موجود ورجل.
إذا بترجع لبدايتي، يعني لولا الله ثم دعمك وأنك سمحت لي ما كان كملت أنا بهالمجال. في كثير ناس أبهاتهم منعوهم من أن يكملوا وما وصلوا للي أنا وصلت. النعم اللي كثير كنا عايشين فيها فضل الله ثم فضلك، هذا يعني أنا لو سويت آلاف الأشياء نفس هذه مستحيل أرد 1% من يعني الحياة اللي انت عيشنا إياها أو من مواقفك معانا، سواء أنا ولا أخواني.
الحين الببجي صارت يعني عالميا، والله صرت أفتخر فيك. يعني إذا جبت لي كأس العالم أوه هذه هني ولا أحلى منها. الله يوفقك والله يرضى عليك.
الصلابة مو بس إنك تقوم، الصلابة إنك تقوم عشان غيرك.
এখানে পড়ে গেছিল তো ওই শালা, আমি তো দেখলাম একজন পড়ে গেল। পড়ে গেছে গড়িয়ে গড়িয়ে কত দূর গেছে।
Welcome to the final day of Group Green at the PUBG Mobile Global Championship. Today, ladies and gentlemen, teams will be looking to keep their PMGC dreams alive. And also, we have teams trying to secure a ticket to the grand finals. As I have Inner Circle here, but Naki, you know what, since IQ decided to bump me, I do have a question for you. Yesterday, you started off the day in second place. Today, you are 9 points away from third place. You did have a hot drop yesterday that I felt like set the momentum for the rest of the day in Rondo. Are you guys looking to change that and not hot drop Falcons?
Speaking of yesterday, we had something in our mind that didn't go as planned because if you saw the yesterday matches, there were 2 plane paths in Rondo. One was going from up to the bottom, and other one was a little bit the side one, and that turned out to be a little bit of disadvantage for us because when the teams already landed, and they took guns before we landed, it shot us in air.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Are you guys gonna be looking to change that hopefully today?
Yeah, today our plan is no one's listening. Our plan today is to one of us will be in a edge of the map to recall us, and 3 of us will fight.
All right, well, I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Thank you so much, and best of luck. I'm hoping you guys end up being in the top 3. Now, for that squad, they need to make sure they adjust their gameplay too, because a lot of teams are going to be riskier. And Osal, before you go and get ready, I do have some questions for you. Come over here with me, because day 1, it felt like the sleeping champions. Day 2, it felt like 2024 PMGC champions for D+ Kia. What was the biggest change that you guys were able to do from day 1 to day 2?
Nothing special, but first day we have like a personal problem and then a decision problem. Yeah, so and then but second days we solved that problem, so that's why we got good points. And we will be in top 3 at the end of the day.
I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Kamsahamnida, best of luck today, because for this squad, I mean, this squad definitely needs to perform if they want to make it to the grand finals. They are the defending champions. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the top 3 go to the finals. 8 teams are going to be going to last chance, and the bottom 5 are going home. Let's see who's going to be going to the finals, who'll be going home, and who'll be going to last chance today.
I love that energy right at the start. That's right, PUBG Mobile fans. This is it. The final day for Group Green. No more excuses, no more messing around. At the end of these 6 matches, 5 teams are going home. I'm your host, Hot Jukes, here with Max Man and Neptura. Max, how hype are you for today?
Yes! Okay. Was that enough? Is that hyping up? No, I am genuinely so freaking excited, Hot Jukes, because as you said it, right? 3 teams here. Seven also mentioned it during that interview. Going straight into the finals, but for the first time today in PMGC, we're going to be saying goodbye to 5 teams, and that's going to be rough. Some dreams are going to be shattered, so if you're at the bottom, better start initiating that comeback. You don't have a lot of time left to go.
You don't. That is for sure. Neptura, right? You can see the schedule right here. The final day for Group Green, and then we're going into Group Red. But I'll tell you what, man, Group Green has been a blast to watch so far.
Oh, it has. It's been so much fun. I mean, the days have felt so short just because how much action we're seeing from all of these teams. And, you know, we've been talking about it over the last few days, right? But it's not going to stop today of just every single team feels like they're bringing their absolute best. There is no chance for mistakes, no chance to mess up in any of these games because there's always a team ready to take advantage of that. And I love seeing that competitiveness in all of these teams.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to see the overalls right now because that's what I definitely want to take a look at, Max, man. And when it comes to the overall rankings, right, there's 2 pieces that we got to really look at, right? Obviously, the top of the leaderboards, because we got those 3 teams going to the grand finals, and that bottom of the leaderboards where those bottom 5 teams need to go crazy. Looking at the top, right, we got obviously GOAT and D+ that are going to be right there in that spot, right? So how do you feel about their chances going to the grand finals today, Max?
I mean, Osala was looking very confident in Hodrix in interviews. Like, yeah, we're going to make it top 3, lads. No doubt in our minds. And that's the D+ that I know, right? That we saw perform, just destroy the lobby back in PMGC 2024 Grand Finals last year. But GOAT really true contenders here, Nipchura. GOAT really, of course, going back in how they played in CSA, very impressive stuff. I was like, in globals, it's such a big level up. I don't rate GOAT team that highly, but no, they're really just popping off big time. Currently in 4th position, tied alongside D+. Maybe able to make history here for their squad and actually make it to a PMGC Grand Finals. That would be huge.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how GOAT are actually going to sort of adapt to what DK has been able to achieve yesterday, right? They've got that momentum building. You know, they're looking very confident. They're saying we're going to be top 3, and GOAT have done super well, as you said, but how are they going to react to DK's threat now? Because especially on a wrangle, they go very, very close to each other. D+ typically go school and go Pachinki. So I'm wondering, Max, if we're maybe going to see a little bit of targeting coming in the early stages, just to make sure for GOAT that D+ don't do what they want to do.
I mean, you have recall towers, right? If there's any point in time where you want to try and target a team with very small amount of risk, it would be Rondo. Just go for the 3-1 split. We saw, for example, Noki mentioned that he might try and do in their hot drop happening versus Falcons in Neox Factory itself. Could be happening, but here are the leaderboards. And again, the tie between GOAT D+ Kia is going to be an issue. But going in the middle of the pack, still anyone here, Hodgix, can realistically climb back up into top 3. So APG, Alter Ego, GOAT, better be careful because they're going to be chased down big time today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that if any team sees one of these squads and once they get that elimination and realize who they are, I think they're going to go above and beyond to make sure they take them out. Because at this point, like any kind of friendliness, you know, it's over, right? Because it's all about trying to get that ticket straight to the finals. You want to avoid that survival stage as much as you possibly can. So for now, I think we definitely got to take a look at the top because that ticket is going to be super important. And you can see the different stats between GOAT and D+ right here. They are currently tied.
APG একটু সেভে আছে একটু কিন্তু অল্টার ইগো বেরোনি
but once they got warmed up they were making it happen yesterday, Max.
Main কথা কি জানো yeah, I mean, definitely once they were getting in that swing of things after day 1 they were just perform so damn consistently on their second day.
ওদেরকে যদি টার্গেট করে যে এমন যে ওদেরকে মারবো লবিতে নিচের স্কোয়াডগুলো যেগুলো করে তাহলে যা জামাল হয়ে যাবে
the standout player, but Chips, what a day yesterday. He was on fire.
He was on fire indeed. I just love seeing that kind of consistency come through. Consistency that I want to actually very much pay attention to here. We have the head-to-head from Nolbull and Rosemary, right? We have some incredible stats from them, but I want to focus on the points contribution. These two are MVPs, 24.9% to 23%. It means that even though they are the standout players, they're still contributing the exact amount they need to, which means every single other player is also stepping up, also putting in their 25% roughly, right? So it means that across the board, both of these teams super consistent individually. Everybody's pulling their weight, and that's what's making them so good here in the group green stage.
Wait, before we go on anything else, did I see he has a 16+ minute average survival time and he has a 2 elimination average? Like, the guy's alive a very small amount of the game compared to other people, and he's just popping off, Hodgix. That Rosemary, that was a great day. Day 2 was his day.
Rosemary was going crazy yesterday, you know, and teams that didn't go as crazy, right, but definitely put up some points was Loops versus GS, right? These are the two teams right there on that cutoff stage, right? So in my opinion, Max, we talked about this during the Gauntlet, and I think it still applies here. In my eyes, we got 5 matches today, okay? I'm not gonna lie. We got 6 total, right? But that last game is always wild, right? Because there's going to be some teams that know they're going home, and it's just not going to be a traditional map of Miramar. I mean, in the Gauntlet stage, the final day, I think we had like 20 players after Circle 5, right? So I hope the teams watch the Gauntlet and realize that, you know what, we cannot mess about. We definitely don't want to be waiting till the last game, right?
I mean, I remember what you were saying during the Gauntlet in the last game is like, we're not going to have any changes. That was our top 7, right? And that did end up being the case. So I would agree. You have 5 games, and then the last game is just going to be so hectic, so weird, so all over the place that it's really maybe not going to have a huge impact. But I'm still hoping one day, Hodgix, will see a team be desperate enough in that last game to try and make that jump up the leaderboards in that final match.
Yep, well, they're going to be putting on some points, of course, on the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and hashtag outplay the rest on the global stage. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm so stoked for these games because things are going to heat up big here, Neptura. Now, we're going to go into Rondo, okay? For those of you guys that could be tuning in here for the first day, Sandhawk is over. It's all about Rondo. Look at the message boards. By the way, guys, make sure you go comment, hit those QR codes, and be a part of the conversation. Hopefully, you can see some of your names up here on the board. And I see OG, right? They have had a whole bunch of support here, Neptura, but they are in that danger zone today.
They are in the danger zone, but not by much. If that win proves anything, it proves that they can do it. They are able to take advantage of zones and do what they do best. So I'm really, really hoping against hope here that they come back stronger today. It's the last day. They have nothing to lose. Just relax. Just go for it, Max.
I mean, I'm seeing also Truce with his comment there on the board. Go follow Truce, by the way. Amazing PMGC content. If you want to stay up to date with everything, the guy definitely deserves a shout out. He does great stuff out there. So good guy in the community. GG's.
Let's go.
That's it. That's my shout out.
I love it. I love it. Right. And hey, you can maybe get a shout out too. Right. So make sure you're a part of that conversation, guys. You know, put your word in for sure, because these players are going to need it. Keep it positive, man. I'll tell you what, these guys have worked all year long just to be able to get here. The pressure is through the roof right now, right? Especially for those teams on that bottom 5. They need all of your energy to be able to pull it out here. Because like I said, 5 games in my eyes to really put up those points. But back to what we were talking about earlier, Max. Rondo, okay? Sanok is gone. Rondo is here. Yesterday, we saw some of the most crazy Rondo plays I think we've seen all year.
I mean, Neox Factory was such an oddity, right? The hot drop happening between that certain Pakistani team that I shall not mention and the side, of course, of... There was Loopsy even at some point, right? And then Falcons going into it. Very odd. I do like what Noki said. Of course, they're going to try and fix it here, Niptura, with that 3-1 split, which I think is definitely a big improvement. But are we going to see 3 teams in Neox once more? And are we going to have a double plane? That was clearly an issue yesterday. If we have another double plane, this Rondo is going to be hectic.
Yeah, it is. I don't hate the idea of a hot drop on Neox as long as you don't go in full squad, because I think none of the teams at this point, the way the leaderboards look, looking so close, I don't think they can afford to have that, potential risk of just going out completely, as we saw IC do yesterday. So I personally don't hate it, but they just have to be careful. You got to play it smart. Hot drop in on Rondo is fine. Just play it smart. Just do the 1-3 recall strat. You'll be fine.
Yeah, make sure you have at least that one person to get that recall going, because for those of you guys that missed yesterday, the Falcons, IC, they hot dropped. Falcons ended up getting 7 eliminations off the rip here, and that really helped them out because they're currently sitting in 9th place today. They got a little bit of a point buffer, but not enough to feel comfortable, right, Max?
Exactly. I mean, the thing about Falcons, right, is that now we know they're at their strongest when they're only 1 player alive. It happened with Narvalo. It was Ralph on the Miramar. Hey, maybe that's why they're taking a hot drop, Niptra. Maybe the strat is we lose 3 players. We just play as a solo from the start until the end, and we get like 30 eliminations. That's when they're at their peak.
Maybe. Hey, look, it's just memes, but honestly, anything goes at this point, right? Because they're just on the cusp of that bottom 5. So anything goes. It's the last day. Again, I think that's kind of the message to any of the teams kind of 10th and below, is just like literally relax. Either you do it or you don't at this point. You've got 6 more games. Just relax, play your game, and it most likely will be fine, because time and time again, we see what can happen when a team just finally goes, hey, you know what? We've done our best. Let's just play our game now. And often it works so well.
All I want really is to have a similar Rondo to yesterday, Hot Jukes, because it was absolute cinema. The EMP zone, the double planes, the hot drop in Neox. We had that clutch recall from Divine on Reject, by the way, which if we want Reject to be out of the bottom 5, we've got to see something similar there and trying to avoid GS Team and Jadina City. But so many things happening. Rondo is slowly but surely becoming my favorite map in PUBG Mobile Esports, because there's so much depth to this Battlegrounds, and I'm really hoping to see the teams get even better as time goes on this Battleground.
Yeah, one thing that you were talking about yesterday, real quick though, Max, right, was how GS is landing in Jadina City, and they have it for free because Geekay isn't here, right? So since they have that drop, right, how big do you think it is for them to be able to put up a big Rondo here in this game?
I mean, it's an edge position, right, Nipchura? So I would say it's good to have it for free. You don't have to fight for it, but I don't think it's like game-changing altogether, right?
No, I think because the only thing I will say is that it gives you a lot of options because of how big the map is that it really gives you an opportunity to get really big, long wraparound rotations to avoid teams. So if you are a team that wants to do that, it's probably a better position.
All right, well, let's see if they can put that position to use, guys. Last day for Group Green. Let's see which team's going to get that chicken dinner on match number 1 with John Allen and Blake.
We are getting into Rondo. Of course, those recall beacons are up, live and kicking for the last time, potentially for some of our teams. Well, definitely for 5 of our teams here in Group Green. And they will be pulling every trick out of the hat. Hopefully, they'll be able to come up with something miraculous, but we'll have to wait and see. One plane this time around, Blank. We're keeping it simple.
Yeah, it was the north side as well.
বুঝলাম না রন্ডোতে যে দিশারতে রিকলেরই লাগছে বারা
Group Green, the final chance getting towards that top 3.
রিকল আছে দেখছো কম্পিটিটিভ রিকল বারা
জাতাগোলা রিকল সেন্টার
because honestly some of these squads they really do need something special
কতগুলো কিলার হিসাব আছে
or stay out of the bottom 5. I think that is a big thing we have to consider here is that unlike the Gauntlet stage someone's going home and not just someone 5 teams it is a lot cutting out here going through as we get further and further into PMGC. We've got group break coming up shortly as well. You know, the action never ends here over at PMGC. But first of all, we've got to conclude Group Green.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to be kicking off, though, with a hot drop already on the cards as the sprays start to fly. It's APG. Falcons set up in the middle. I think there's another team. It's Team Secret. All 3 of them playing around the test track right now. Really is anything goes to see if the Falcons can profit in the same way they did off yesterday's hot drop. They're able to get quite a few points going out. Like they are 1 for 1, but they do get that flush confirmed. Koa may be resible here. Doc not quite with the angle to stop that one going through. We've got Reject and Gen.G also on a hot drop play. Around the corner. Turns it, slaps it down with the machete as well. And gets the flush point on. Remember, these recalls still exist, and Team Secret immediately pulling one player back into the fold. Gen.G not so lucky. Looks like 9Z also still have a player down, but we're not expecting those to stay down for too long. They can get straight back up. Polak, hang on a minute. I see it here as well. I didn't even see them, but they're in for the play, and IQ's able to find Ziol and get the flush.
Yeah, unfortunate for Zolya. He actually got a full reset on the kit. I think he finished that fight with Team Secret there with 1 bullet left remaining in the magazine. Was able to get himself an S12K and a bunch of other stuff in the meantime, but not enough to keep them going. The Falcons, though, they're also playing this position. This is very different for Alpha Gaming as well. Usually they play a little bit more of a split across the map. In this game, they're slightly more aggressive, trying to get more points on board. I think they understand that, you know, they want to get ahead. I think right now they are far enough ahead that with maybe 2 games at 10 points, they sort of secure themselves in that top 3 with the way teams are chasing, because it's a lot of profit multiple teams have to make. Because if Alter Ego and Goat catch up to them, it doesn't really matter all that much. They would have to have Alter Ego, Goat, DK, as well as Inner Circle all doing extremely well to knock APG out. So we can kind of stop talking about APG for the time being. We're more focused over towards D+. Seven made a hilarious video yesterday where D+, you know, trying to bulldoze their way back in towards that top 3. The teams are trying to hold them out for the time being, but they're doing a good job and tied now with Goat in 3rd.
Koa trade against Falak. I barely even saw a sliver of him, but Koa saw enough. And he gets the flush as well. That is nasty coming through from Koa. I mean, Falak's got to feel pretty bad about that one. But he should be able to get the res. Again, that recall is going to be such a major factor moving forward into PUBG Mobile in the ecosystems that we see. You can see immediately Falak is recalled. They have that outpost on lockdown.
Yeah, it's one of the situations where you're screaming desync, but you're in the same room. So it's hard to complain about that. But yeah, that was... I don't really know how that happened. It's definitely a case of Reg on our screen. Probably looked very different for the players. But either way, reaction speed of a small mongoose.
Small is important there because they're the more timid ones, which means they need to react quicker. You know, they're more in danger. But Redox right now, looks like he was a bit of a bigger mongoose on that one, and he will go down to IC. 3 elims found for Tianba, 4 for IC. Blank. This is big starts for these two teams.
I mean, Inner Circle's doing fairly well at the moment to hold off versus multiple teams. The only worrying thing right now for me is that this is the same approach Inner Circle took yesterday, which is why I don't really think they have an outpost here. So they are fully committed to this position on the map. There's Alter Ego taking shots down towards this way. You also have Falcons, Alpha Gaming, Loops, Team Secret on the outside. It's very rough. So Inner Circle has to have a much more confident and consistent finish here over towards Neox if they want to continue forward. Already finding 5 limbs though is fantastic work for them.
It's a real boon to their tallies, but you can see players are getting back up thick and fast. We've had quite a few elims coming on through already. But for now, everybody, you could just see the streakers pouring onto the tables. Gen.G, the only team to have stuck with 3 for the time being, but they're right on top of a recall beacon, and that one's coming in 3, 2, 1. No, not quite. Okay, they haven't managed to hop out of the vehicle just yet, but they are going for it. All the way down south near Lampo, and there it goes. Satan's back in the mix. Still sticking onto Neox Factory, onto the rooftops. Doc doesn't want to give up the ghost just yet. There's that recall beacon right in the middle of things, but that's much dangerous.
Alpha Gaming, this is a very different approach that they're taking at the moment. It makes things very messy for Inner Circle as well, where they thought they would be taking the fight purely with the Falcons. Alpha Gaming getting involved on this does create a slight problem. This should be an easy shot to make for Doc at least, and he will pick up the first knock there and the flush off the back of it. Now Noki's locked in. Right, it's very hard for him to move from that location, and this nade looks pretty decent.
Oh, does get repositioned away from though. Noki maybe looking for loot, maybe spotted it coming. We'll never know. Either way, doesn't take damage from it. Having a 6th elim, well, that would be pretty great. You'd love to see it. And they can control that recall
Battery
as well. Nice.
Direct line
right on top of them as well. The EMP zone flaring out in the meantime.
Change
Sort of south side of the center of this circle, with the EMP coming on in. It is not ideal to be in there. It's not the end of the world, but can cause some uncomfortable situations like we saw yesterday, Blank, with the EMP forcing a fight where maybe it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. It's nice to see Coops on the Abacam as well. That thing is absolute laser beam at the moment. Don't get to see a lot of players who are on board though. Hyper Supermassive. There's a lot of hope for this team, but it's coming a little too late on their side of things right now at 78 points. I think regardless though from yesterday's performance, especially Kamikaze, they have proven themselves once again to be quite a strong squad overall. So I think most fans of this team can be quite happy. Again, I imagine Last Chance is going to be very difficult for them, but it doesn't look hopeless.
There is still qualification. Someone has to qualify from that last stage, right? At least one team is going to get hopefully more. Circle pops in. EMP zone fades on the fight. Gen.G on the east side, but it's Goat in the middle there. D+ as well now moving in on that north edge, moving down from Stadium. Seeing what they can find. It's now teams are going to start to get stuck into situations where they can't go for these recalls. And I'm surprised that Inner Circle hasn't dropped that to go for it. They are now starting to get it on board, but for Tianba, they might not be able to.
It's a pretty unnecessary fight coming through from Inner Circle over on that eastern side, and especially with things being thrown into the mix, especially in Neox factory around test track. That is a very tumultuous area of the map where anything can happen. You're kind of concerned about Inner Circle continuing to drop there, especially on top of Falcons. There's plenty of other positions that are playable, and I think Inner Circle does thrive towards those end games. So why risk the full 4-man squad wipe at the beginning of the game? It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it's not favorable, but Narvalo. I mean, we know what he likes to do on his own in a single building, right? There's no way you get him in there. You need at least 5 players, I'm pretty sure, to be able to take him down like that. Just the one's not going to cut it. No mustard was cut. Gen.G against Papa Supermassive, who have had some stellar plays, but still in the middle of those tables, they want to try and breach forwards. A little assist coming on through, and a lovely shot in the corner from Nico. They're finding more. Can't fall out there. I think there's an off angle to deal with, and the teammate to get rest up because GS are taking shots. They've got a lot of angles on this surround, so you need to be careful.
GS looked like a pretty tough team in terms of qualification. Like, they didn't look like they were getting anywhere close to it. I think the past couple of days, I think they've really improved like a lot. So I think no matter what happens to GS here, like, they'd be proud of the performance. They still have a little ways to go to get out from that bottom 5. Loops is definitely in danger, as is 9ZG. I think Falcons is slightly more safe, but if they continue on this trajectory where, you know, the 4v4s are just not great, even the 1v1s aren't great from the Falcons at the moment, then it's likely to go downhill. Nice shot from Lost, but now he's just providing information from on top of the rooftop.
The rest of Papa Supermassive not really in a place to assist right now, nowhere near, and they do need to just keep themselves going. I mean, Lost, might be Resable here. If Nico drops another smoke, keeps the cover going, but perhaps you just want to keep your wits about you. That nade doesn't even find it. Ooh, right in the smoke. Maybe they think they've cleared that corner. Drops another one around the edge. That does tag damage, so they know that they're in that courtyard. The reses have come through from GS as well. It should be just finishing on the res, but it's not going to be Nico to face them now. On a sliver of HP, it's just Lost, and he will not find it. You can see them on the east side there, just completely separated from Trompy and Kamikaze. They were isolated out to that west, and GS, well, they launch that opportunity, but they get the recall for Papa Supermassive very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the entire time, they've been sending out to a close-by recall position to get the rest of the players back up again. But for GS, well done. Very, very well done. That's versus a very, very difficult team to play against. And getting that full squad wipe is great. You know, taking the information gain that they grabbed off of those nades and then easily determining where the players are, even pre-spraying the smoke as well. I really enjoyed that fight. I think that was very nice from GS.
Well orchestrated. Gen.G trying to orchestrate their approach, but the Wolves have been outposted here for quite a while, Blank. They're fairly firmly entrenched. Team's starting to have their hopes of getting recalls dwindle right now. And that's probably most brutal for both Tianba and for the Falcons, right? One player alive. Falcons very, very central with their last player. But that's where they like to be. The analyst was talking about it before. Tianba, though, a little bit more out in the open as Narvalo has the nades. Let's see what he can do in this shack.
It is interesting looking at the way that Alter Ego and Alpha Gaming are currently playing at the moment. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that's a horrendous spray down over towards Inner Circle. I think two players are resable. It depends if someone wants to crash them or not. Either way, what I was saying about Alpha Gaming and Alter Ego is they're both playing very slow on the outside edge. And this makes sense to me because realistically, Rondo is one of the best trampolines when it comes to accelerating your point scoring. A lot of times that can be the make or break between getting in towards a top spot. Now for Alter Ego and Alpha Gaming, what they're more concerned with this game is basically keeping other teams down. Right, so they're playing very much on the outside edge. They're not looking for central positions. They just want to make this game as scarce as possible. for other squads. They don't want to get too aggressive here. They're just looking to injure, to cause casualties, and slow this game down to a crawl, which makes complete sense to me.
Suffering here, Reject. Have great angles towards them. They're just getting knocked repeatedly, and they're chasing for that third place spot.
Qualify করার chance নাই আমার যা মন বলছে ওরা পারবে না
They're on 91 right now. They earned 5 points.
Dot আর D+ কে এর মধ্যে পারাপারি হবে
Crunched in here.
আগে যাই
He's nasty on that western side. A lot of teams very, very close by to one another. Free and easy on that eastern side, but still no walk in the park. The circle keeps that crunch in the middle too, and Reject are going to further commit down towards that area. As players starting to fall out now, recalls become possible. Most of our teams at this stage, APG wanting to get Zio back up. They are staying completely together here, but Gen.G onto the tree. Dammy on the high ground. A lovely nade comes through from Refus. It finds him around the trunk of the tree. There is a trade still, and Zio is flushed. But can there be retribution? Can APG find their feet here and stay up in that first place spot? Because Satan's already found Wolves might chime in as well.
Slightly with nade there coming through from Refus. Reject with Regio will pick up one of those elims. Looks like Alpha Gaming is more than likely to go down here on the outside edge on the south side. Again, you're just trying to make sure this game is as stagnant as possible. And for teams that really want to climb up, they're likely looking for a central position anyway. So you're just gifting points across the teams that aren't really all that influential on the lobby. I mean, the Wolves currently on 79 points, but these eliminations are getting passed around very equally right now. It's a much slower rondo than what we're used to. But again, I think in an international lobby, this makes a lot of sense. And I would be surprised seeing this type of meta start to develop in personal regions, right? You know, where on that final day, rondos are a lot quieter because you don't want to be giving away those massive chicken dinner games.
We saw yesterday as well.
A lot of big starts and then not going too much further. There were a lot of 8-9 elimination teams that were down early into the game, right? That were completely flushed out. And seems like this time around, as you say, it's kind of level pegging for a lot of these teams. APG, the major profiteers right now on this game with 6 elims, but that will be changing as teams continue to move on forwards. Inner Circle have managed to patch themselves back up, Blank. In the meantime, whilst all of that chaos unfolded on the south side circle, they've patched themselves up to 3 players alive. They've got control of their building. Reject flexed a little bit further away, and now they're regrouping out, which has alleviated some of that pressure. In the meantime, though, Alter Ego fighting for the podium spot with D+, Blank.
Yeah, who have now passed GOAT as well. 3rd place for D+. Now looking to go a little bit further. Norbu with nade outside. A lot of damage over towards Krypton. Goes extremely low. Snape looks to cut the corner, but it's not meant to be, as Norbu will make the big run out. Finds 2, but loops are coming.
They're right over the hill, and they will ride straight into the fight here, Blank. D+ now gonna have a tough time defending on 2 fronts, but with just Snape remaining, they may have handled Alter Ego fast enough. He will be a fly in the ointment to the hold against Loops. But that's the shot that they were looking for, the opener towards D+. Snape will fall, so Alter Ego in 2nd place will go down. D+, 1 point behind them now. In just 1 elimination, they could draw neck and neck. We'll see if they're able to do it. Loops may be the team to deliver them that point that they need. They're very isolated from everybody else on this northern side.
Osal will bleed out there. So it's a 2v4. Chips got a huge amount of work done yesterday. Now looking to go even further for D+ and secure that position in 2nd place. It's been a big rise from D+ over the last few days. In the meantime, Wolves are looking a little bit slicker today, though I will wait and see, because anything can happen with that team. We've seen them go from strength to very low lows. And for the Wolves, not convinced yet.
A couple of shots coming on through. Look at that picture-in-picture. Wolves having a tough time against Team Secret. Okay, that's not the team I thought I would be saying there in that sentence. They've still got a wolf on the prowl on that picture. I'm taking a look and it looks like they will be able to do so much work on the top side. They take down Team Secret, but in come OG on that fight. The wolves are flushed away. In the meantime, we're back on board now with the main picture here with Luke. And they are still going head to head, toe to toe. Blow for blow with D+, as the nade pushes Fabian out the back. Chips is still on the inside. Raptor Boy looks for the challenge, but he will not be able to find it. Step into the blue too long. You're going to go down. The point that they need is right there. Will he step out? Will he get too bold with it? Nobody's going to launch them over the top blank. They're up into second place over Alter Ego. Can they keep it going?
I mean, this is incredible. The fact that these two players make it happen. Fabian has been in the scene for a very long time, and he knows how to keep his nerve here. Luke's final player up the stairs. Chips looking to finish it off. We'll just have to ascend this one.
On with 3 man, no, on before man low.
Done. A 2v4 from Team Wolves to secure second place is insane.
How much further could they go? There's not too many people on this northern side. They don't have the meds. I'd be surprised if they even make it out of this blue zone blank. I feel like for Chips, he's just trying to find the first right now to heal himself. There is a long way to go. There's about 200 meters to dash across, and that's if he makes a beeline. Towards cover. This is not but they've got 9 elims already. It's a great result to get up into second place, away from Inner Circle. Inner Circle quite likely to go a lot further though. So it could still be a worry.
Right now, thank you.
এবারে যে 10 পয়েন্ট করে পাইলেও হচ্ছে ওদের আগে যাবে আইসি 3টা বেচে বটে 4 জনে বেচে
wait, that's actually the same. That's fine. That's good. That's good. Okay, so Gemma Pack will get D+ even further. Apparently we saw a cover flare not come through, which I can only imagine around this area. I'm not sure if it's from OG or the Wolves or Team Secret, but either way, cool to see in an international tournament someone getting crushed by the mighty Dorito.
Top 10 এর মধ্যে থাকতে হবে
For
last
OG,
chance.
they cleared out rejects. It's good. I mean, 13th place, but 70 elims at the start of the day here is very, very nice for OG. It looks better. I think the most concerning thing is that Wolves were losing the fight to Team Secret. And I think it's fair to say that Team Secret has the worst firepower in the lobby right now. That is definitely concerning for Wolves. They did hold a stronger position than them, and they were pushing into, but since everyone else that Team Secret has played against has just fallen. Yeah, it is concerning.
That's it's not ideal. They did get blank, so it's not doom and gloom for them, but they did want to stay stronger into that fight. With OG rolling in though, I mean, it's a pretty tough task. OG isolated on the outside. A team that is definitely not isolated on the outside though is Papra Supermassive, but we have to talk about them in a minute because Goat crashing onto Narvalo, and this is basically an even match. He's got a building to play around blank. We'll see if they're able to do it this time. See if they can get rid of him. He's locked in, but it's going to be the assist coming on from his enemy team. His opponents are doing the work for him. They step in, and this guy just has to be taken out of the building. You just can't do it. That's the way Papra Supermassive have to get a little bit naughty. But that was floundering on the approach coming through from Goat.
You lag. You miss out on a placement point from the back of that as well. So yeah, it's a bit annoying.
D+ কি যে তিনটা টিম প্রেডিকশন করেছে তিনটা টিমই টপে আছে আর তিনটা টিমকে ভালো করে খেলতে হবে
Sick of playing as a
তিনটা
solo.
টিমই মরে গেছে
Gonna go out in a blaze of glory. But 9ZG is 10th place on the lobby. 69 points right now. Now, if they get themselves away from some of the others chasing, that includes Luke, who are in a lot of danger right now, especially versus OG, who look to move themselves out from the bottom 5.
the name of the game. They're stretching out towards the north. Maxman in our chat is highlighting as well that cover flares here are going to be really important given the flatness of this terrain.
PMGC
He's going to be looking out for any more, well, first of all, any more emergency flare knocks, but
গতটা
also
24
using that cover.
ডিফেন্ডিং চ্যাম্পিয়ন
এর সাথে হেভি ফাইট হয়েছিল হেভি কম্পিটিশন হয়েছিল যে RGC REG
over on the analyst desk.
রেগনাম কারিয়া
হ্যাঁ রেগনাম কারিয়ার
আরবিসি
ও তো মানে রেড গ্রুপে আছে কোয়ালিফাই করতে
Not able to control that. Not quite finding the spray down with IQ.
ওরা জিতছিল তো 23
Yeah, I mean,
ওরা ছিল
you would
23
hope for a little bit more damage there going from middle circle, but the fact that they got themselves up towards the top 6 is already quite useful. I think the main two teams to look at here is Go as well as Inner Circle. Second and third spot, and it's really not
double
much of a
PMGC
stretch they
team
need to go.
নাই
They might
বললেই
even just
চলে
find it off the back of placement points here. But this is a fearsome fight between DK, Ultra, Go and Inner Circle for the top 3.
এই শালারা কি যে
Absolutely is, although at the
এত
moment,
ব্রেন
Blank, it
এদের
shouldn't be on their minds about getting into the top 3 now. It should be about maximizing point gain in this match.
মঙ্গোলিয়া তো ছিল
It's great that you
মঙ্গোলিয়া
can
না
get into top 3, but if
রাইজ
you
অফ
have to play
মঙ্গোলিয়া
like, oh, let's just get a couple of points so
আইএসসি
that
তো
we can
ডাইরেক্ট
get
নাই
top 3.
হয়েছে না
Sure, it's a nice warm fuzzy feeling.
কত সিজন ছিল এবার আছে
Giving up the
আইএসসি
opportunity to get 7,
নাই
8,
বললেই
9
চলে
points on the game, where that would be a
ট্রেন্ডিং এ নাই
Nice,
ট্রেন্ডিং এ নাই
hardball
টিম হয়তো
question
বা
does
আছে বাট
assist both of
ট্রেন্ডিং
these
এ নাই
teams, but unfortunately, Papa
দেখছো
Supermassive
আইসির অবস্থা
আইএসসি
দেখেছো
play the game here, Blank, and now just one
আইসির
player
অবস্থা
left on
দেখেছো
NSA.
লাভ নাই আইসি
I think Papa
কোয়ালিফাই
Supermassive done
করতে
a great
পারবে না
job
যে
to
অবস্থা
sustain in this match. Loss will take down Fala.
OG
The big man from the squad in the circle now just down to 1 in T24, who has
Body
been
bar.
fantastic when it comes to the
থেকে
shots.
দেখ
It's not enough
কালকে একটা
versus 4
চিকেন
teams.
এনেছে
বাড়া
I think for Inner
হেভি
Circle,
হেভি কষ্টে চিকেন এনেছে
for them, you know,
এদের
they're
গোয়া
trying to
ফেটে
get it
ছিল
towards the top side of the lobby.
হোল্ড
Sadly,
করে আছে
Last
পজিশন
rough to play versus Papa Supermassive.
বাইরের
They were
টিম
trying to get shots
ডিরেক্ট
wherever
ওদের
they
উপরে
could.
পুশ লাগিয়ে দিয়েছে
For Go,
অন্য
this
মানে
is
কোনো
an
দেখা দেখেছি
extremely
নাই
tough
মরি বাঁচি এরকম
cross,
অবস্থা
but getting
গাড়িতে
one of
আসতে
the
লাগে
players in
ওজির
Twix
বলে
down
হোল্ড
towards
করা
the south
টিমের
side
2টা বিলিয়ন নক
is
করে দিয়েছে
miraculous, and
গাড়ি থেকে
also
স্প্রে দিয়ে
fantastic timing
আরে এই
from
শালারা
them.
কিছু
So they
করতেই পারে
pulled out the stopwatch, clicked it as soon as they heard the fighting happening over on that west side, and sent Twix out. So that
দেখো
was
দেখো
really important. Good shots there from Killer Joe.
খেলে
So
শালা
much damage. Able to do so much damage to OG on the approach. In a time where they need the points as much as they can get. 7 elims already on the game. Blank, again, it's not all doom and gloom, but in the bottom 5, it's still really uncomfortable. GS also fighting to get out of that
একটা
spot.
পরিবর্তন ফেরা যাবে
1 point behind loops. They're guaranteed to get up over loops this game with the placement points that they're already guaranteed. The question is how far. And nades coming through from OG, making it a little bit harder.
It's so cool seeing like, a lot of the top teams fighting out for this one, but then again a lot of the bottom teams with 9Z who are in a bit of a struggle with us at the start of the day. GS and OG both looking to make it happen. Both teams who have seen improvement over the stage of Group Green. I think Go maybe done for in the near future though. They'd have to find a knockover towards 9Z if they wanted to hope in hell of getting out there. But at least getting Twix towards the central position does guarantee them at least like a top 4
যারা
here.
মনে করো গ্রুপ স্টেজ খেলে পিএমজিসি তে কোয়ালিফাই করবে ওদের কাছে বেশি অ্যাডভান্টেজ থাকবে হার্ড লবি খেলার এক্সপেরিয়েন্স থাকবে আর বেশি ভালোভাবে বুঝতে পারবে গংক্রেটে যারা কোয়ালিফাই করে গেছে ওদের কাছে একটু কম ইনফরমেশন থাকবে
Papa Supermassive actually take a knock from Gold. So there's the maybe opener that they were looking for, but it's still so
এপিজি
far against
খেলা তো তোমার
9Z.
পিএমডব্লিউ এতে এরকম ছিল ওরা চাইলে কোয়ালিফাই করতে কিন্তু ওরা পুরা ইয়া খেলা তারপর
Find something in the meantime. OG holding the south as well.
For Go, the only option here is to wave the circle to crunch 9Z in, and during that time where it gets a little bit messy for 9Z, where they have to move and back off angles, that's where the rest of Go can start to move. But they're gonna send out some craters, but they need themselves.
Yeah, that's
গডের কয়টা হয়েছে দুইটা
dear. With the placement points they've got already, though, Blank, they are in the top 3.
প্লেসমেন্ট পয়েন্ট তো পাচ্ছে
Pull it in a circle there.
অলরেডি গো 4 নম্বরে চলে এই গড 2 নম্বরে যাবে প্লেসমেন্ট পয়েন্টে
Kind of ruins their whole day. That's a bit sad. But again, I still think it's a top 4 with Twix involved.
এরা কি দেখতে মেখতে পায় না নাকি এত খানা হলো
Goes over towards Icon, will take him out. And now ESO looks to find these shots through the window. Much more patient though.
Really nice rotation there. Really nice rotation getting through. Loving the ghillie suit on Rondo, by the way. Don't see too much of it. The blossoms looking pretty. Almost as pretty as his peaks there. 9 elims now and a 4th place guarantee. This is the game that OG needed to jet out of the bottom 5. Black they want to keep climbing. They want to go as far as possible. Again, it's nice not to be there now, but it's about getting as many points on the belt as humanly possible to set yourself up for safety later on. Because with only 6 matches, including the conclusion of this one to go,
Mexico's team next.
the top 3, a 2nd place on the cards. If Papa Supermassive can hold it out against 9ZG.
Yeah, I think for OG it's been really nice. And so far, a lot of these pieces they're going for are covered off by their teammates, and it's looking a lot cleaner on their approach.
আগের সিস্টেমটা ভালো ছিল পিএমপিএল ছিল এই পিএমপিএল অফ করে দিয়ে যে সিআই করেছে এগুলা
macro that we know that they have. It is sad where this is almost an impossible location to push out from. But what I'm glad about
PMPL দিয়ে দিছে এখন আগে একটা রিজিয়নে দিয়ে it's the last region ওগুলো কোয়ালিফাই করলে এখানে নর্থ আমেরিকা ইউএসএ এগুলো না আরবি
থাকা দরকার ছিল পিএমপিএল থাকলে খেলা অন্যরকম হইতো পিএমপিএল অনেক ম্যাচ তো ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ম্যাচ খেলার মধ্যে অনেক কিছু শিখা যায়
হ্যাঁ
এই পিএমএনসি তে খেলে কোয়ালিফাই ডিরেক্ট সে কোয়ালিফাই
campaign to get away from the bottom 5 spots, and that is a brilliant conclusion for 9ZG. Papa Supermassive get a decent chunk of points as well, but they could not leave their compound. They held it strong, but they just weren't allowed out the front door.
নিচের টিম গুলো চিকেন নিলেই তো সমস্যা
big game for them. They needed it from where they were in the team.
লেগে যাবে 2 নাম্বার আর 3 নাম্বার স্লট
Supermassive though does send them a little bit further up towards the top of the tables.
এই কামিকাজি এই প্লেয়ারটা সেই মারা মারছে
as well, but overall some promising moments
এই যে মেরি পাপারাজি মেসি নাকি
not going to say too much right now because I need to see more out of that team today if they're going to make it out from that bottom 11, but the journey has begun. The journey has begun.
Absolutely. Very important matches going through on the Rondo. That's what we wanted to see. There was no team that got 0 eliminations. Everybody got at least 1. That's what you want from Rondo, right? It's pure entertainment value. Get stuck in with those eliminations. Brilliant stuff. 9ZG, they close us down for the first chicken dinner.
What's the player?
ওটা আমি ও মেবি কোস্টাস হবে ওকে খেলতে দেখিনি এখন পর্যন্ত খেলতে দেখিনি টিপ প্লেয়ার প্লাস কোচ এরকম কিছু হবে
হতে পারে
Get the chicken dinner off the rip today, man. This has to feel like such a relief for the squad. They were in 3rd place after day 1, and in day 2 just couldn't get it done. So to finally make it happen here in the final hour is just so huge for this team.
It really is. I love how they've played this. Very careful, very consistent across the game. I love in particular how they, like, in maybe phase 4, I think it was, they saw there was a compound in the middle of circle that was open, and you can see just the beeline of rotation going straight to that position and holding it. It's so decisive from them. It shows that they're really thinking about it, they're being proactive, and it's what got them.
There were barely any compound free the moment you spot one that is available, just like beeline for it, just like yoink, mine for the rest of the game. And you know what, it worked out great for 9Z Globe. And actually we do have to say, Niptro, by the way, looking at the stats, great stuff from Milos. He popped off this game, 5 limbs, over 500 damage. He was on fire this match, but 9Z was slipping ever since the first 2 strong games on day 1 for Group Green. They've been invisible. We haven't really seen much presence from 9Z Globe here from Americas, and it's good to see a little bit of a redemption game here because they were in 10th position, Niptura, meaning a few more bad games, they would be in a bottom 5, which of course would send you home. So good to see a little bit of a redemption arc here on this Rondo game.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that they recognize that this game was so important, because you are going to have those teams that are slightly below you on that cusp of the bottom 5 or even the bottom 5. Those teams as well are really going to be trying to step up and try and take as many elims as possible. So it's nice for them that they recognize that and went, hey, actually we have to have a really good, strong game here, because otherwise we are going to fall behind. We don't want a repeat of day 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's so much to talk about with this match. This rondo felt completely different from the first 2 in my mind. At least I don't know what you guys think about that one. It started off with Alpha Gaming, though, right? Instead of normally dropping all their players in Yulin, they send 2 to test track. What do you think about that, Max?
I was just seeing someone again get shot while parachuting down. It's been happening a lot on Rondo. I don't know what it is about a trend, but no, this hot drop between the certain Pakistani team I shall not name. Then you have APG, you have Team Secret, you have Falcons. It's hectic. It's all over the place. I love it. More of that, please. Absolute mayhem on the battlegrounds here for Rondo, but it was cool that we saw, especially for that certain team going for a little bit of a backup plan, which is, you know, going for the recalls up northwest away. It didn't work out for them yesterday, Niptura. This time around, they had a game plan, and you know what? They got very far in this game. You love to see it.
Yeah, and I really like here we see that crash. It's such a difficult building. No, it wasn't. Yeah. But I will say I'm impressed how long they survived there, right? Because it's such a hard position to hold. Teams are surrounding you. They did get helped a little bit by that zone, because that meant no one was going to push them. They were too busy worrying about their own thing. But OG there, I want to say very quickly, what a third party coming in for them. I loved this, and then they were able to hold out. Oh, wait, the triple.
I didn't see that.
I did not see that.
Whoa. What are those nades, man, coming out from Orangutan? Sorry, I have to jump in there. That's mad respect on the utility game. And we were saying it, right? Hotrix Niptura, this is by far, in my opinion, even though it's not a win, this was the best game from India. This was the best game from Orangutan, and finally given respect that's deserved back to the lobby. They're not being too over aggressive, going for these weird splits. No, they bunker down, they hold positions together, Niptura. The timing was on point. Is there hope for Orangutan today? Because if we see this caliber of gameplay for these next 5 matches, whoo, OG, this could be a great day.
Absolutely. I love how they played this. They played how I was thinking they were going to play, right? They timed the third party onto Wolves and Team Secret really well. Then Rejects did a really good push. They tried to threaten that position as well. And OG said, absolutely not. This is ours now. And the quick flip that they were able to do from that third party to defense was really nice. And then using other teams' fight to actually use as a distraction to push up themselves. Love what they did with that. So I'm really hopeful for the next game.
Oh man, I'm so stoked for this one as well. Milo's getting that 5 eliminations. This man popped off this match, and I'm telling you, OG could not have done that game at a better time, right? Loops, remember, they were that cutoff team. They had 61 points. In this match, they only got 3. So OG are for sure going to be jumping up the leaderboards, right? GS had a good game though as well, so it's still going to be a fight at the bottom pretty much all day long here in my eyes, Max.
Yeah, it's just gonna be they're gonna cannibalize each other, just like we want to leave the bottom 5, please. Actually, they're not even able to make it happen just yet. They're still gonna be down there in 13th position. They were in 13th position before this game, but that gap has closed, Niptura. You're 6 points away from possibly being in that middle pack here to go for the last chance. Top 3 out of the question. Last chance, that is your goal, that is your objective here. And Orangutan, 6 more points, which is doable with the way they were playing this match on Rondo. We need to just see a bit of a follow-up after that great game.
No, we absolutely do, but I just want to point out very quickly, we saw DK say, hey, we're going to be top 3 at the end of the day. They're top 3 game 1. They're now in 2nd place. They've pushed Alter Ego down. Goat still hold on to their 3rd, but D plus Kia looking good for finals. If they can just hold on for 5 more games, they will have done what they set out to do.
Yeah. I like how Goat team are the immovable object in this one. Just D plus, jumping 2 ranks. Alter Ego dropping 2 ranks. They're not budging from that 3rd position right now. And Twix actually, I want to highlight Twix real quick. This guy was just sent as like the rabid dog of this team. Is just like, you go forward and you just nade everyone. He's like, got you. He's like John Wick in this lobby, and he's getting insanely accurate nades on Papara Supermassive Blaze in particular. This guy was on fire, and you know what? I do wonder if they can maintain a position in the big three today, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, you know what? As long as you don't, knock your team by shooting your own vehicles, stuff like that, we can kind of get that stuff fixed. I think for sure we're going to see them continue at the top. I mean, Goat have been crushing it here so far. They got to watch out, though. I mean, you got D+ now entering the fray. Alter Ego are going to step up here when it comes to Erangel, so a huge threat at the top. I do want to talk a little bit more about the bottom, right? In my eyes, Neptura, looking at those leaderboards, I think this is it for Tiamba and Reject. I think if they don't win a game right here, they're not going to make it. Do you think that's correct?
Sadly, I have to agree. Very sadly, with a heavy heart, because Tiamba, we've seen them do so well before. Rejects, I love this team so much. I've followed them for years, but it's just not looking particularly good. We saw a little bit of more what we expected from Rejects in that rondo, right? In that last game before their altercation with OG went so terribly bad with the triple nade and all of that. But they were in the top 6, top 7 as a full squad. That's better. That's an improvement from yesterday. So Max, if we can just see that maybe a little bit more, maybe they can scrape into the top 11. I don't know though.
Rejects were like, wait, Orangutan are playing good this game? Got a little bit surprised there. But I think any team in the bottom 5 can still make it, except for Team Secret. I think Team Secret have kind of given up. We're not seeing that glimmer of hope, right, that we saw back in PMWC in Riyadh. Just not quite on that same caliber of gameplay. So Reject, Tiamba, Orangutan, Loops for me can still make it up there. And then you're looking at the teams above that threshold, right, Jukes? GS, Falcons, Wolves, Gen.G, even 90 Globan. I feel like they can still fall down in that bottom 5. So it's still really close. I think it is going to be down for the bottom 5, at least down to that final match where it's going to really decide the fate of these teams.
Well, let's go ahead and take it on over to the 7WG with an interview with Goat.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG, and I'm joined by none other than Goat Team Killer Joe. Honestly, this was a good start for the squad in Rondo, your best performing Rondo so far in Group Green. How important was that for your team?
Obviously, it's important to get 8 points, not 0 for us. It was our best Rondo in this tournament. Hard zone, very hard zone, but we got our points and all.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to continue like this because you guys have been performing quite well. What was the difference between day 1 and day 2 for your squad? Because day 2, you popped off.
Day 2, we will continue day 2, I think, yes, to get more points.
All right. Well, hey, I'm hoping that's going to happen. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Hey, we heard it from Killer Joe himself. He was talking about, right, how this was a tough zone. Honestly, that whole map was crazy different, right? I think we're definitely seeing teams just realize that, hey, we need 20-point games, right? Just some eliminations ain't gonna cut it. So at least from what I noticed, Neptura, squads were quick, right? To rather than focus on engagement, get those dominant positions as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, right. We made note of it. It was like, hey, this rondo's actually a lot quieter than the first 2 days, and that's exactly why. It's just these teams are hunkering down their
cover flares to just survive in this game, right? Going on to a wrangle. You don't have emergency cover flares. PUBG Mobile Esports, maybe. That could be a great addition, but I'm very excited for the grassy patches here, Hodgix. It's going to be intense to see who's going to be looking to climb even higher in those rankings.
Well, I know 2 teams for sure. I think it's do or die for Tiamba and Reject. Let's go ahead and head on to Airgale and see if they can get it done. John, Blank, you think that they can?
Hey, anything's possible. Why not? Give it a good go. Give it your best. That's what you're here for at the PMGC. Plenty of teams will try and stop you, get in your way, tackle you to the ground and drag you down with them. You got to rise above. That's what it's all about here. Milta up towards Zaki on the plane path. A little bit difficult to get over towards Primorsk here, Blank, but those vehicles should be fairly accessible.
By the way, John, the correct answer was no. So just for future
I was trying to be kind,
reference. I think it's all good being optimistic, and I think it's less good, of a team who has got no chance trying to tell them that they can get in. I think that There's a possibility of potentially getting out into the last chance, but even then it's going to require some insane games for that to happen.
Yeah, that's I think that's fair, right? I think that's definitely starting to get a little bit long in the day for getting all the way up there. We'll have to wait and see if, I mean, miracles can happen. It really can, but it's just not what you expect. On the north side there, I'm looking over and seeing quite a few teams potentially dropping towards North George with Inner Circle, maybe, yeah, look at a redivert back up towards Zaki. But Blank, it looks like we're on for a military circle here. Get across as fast as you can. High priority, I'm assuming, is going to be put on towards the observatory position, the bridge camp's potential, over towards Novo access. Maybe we'll see some rotations of the gliders coming on through as well. Grab those hovercrafts.
I wanted to see this yesterday. I wanted to see it yesterday, getting it first game off the first angle. Yeah, that's good. That's fun. That's fun to see. I think it's absolutely brutal for so many squads, though. This is the type of thing where it's like, oh, on an outside chance, you get a lot of points. Who's the team that benefits from this the most? Alpha Gaming. They're already in bloody #1 spot. They don't need any more points. This is very frustrating. For Reject, potentially they're able to get across the water quickly, play towards the houses on the beachhead, play those compounds there. But again, it's tough. A lot of the teams that are going to benefit from this are already in a strong position. And it funnily enough, is the two teams we highlighted before, and Tiamba as well as Reject, who are around south of Milta and south of Farm. So, you know what? Maybe last chance is on the cards. Maybe it is. Maybe I was wrong.
Give it a good go. Let's go. Come on. You can do it. Still 21 points. Ooh. Bit nasty. The question is, how fast do they move, right? Because Falcons, they are moving very quick right now, but they are in one vehicle, Blank, and I always hate to see that, especially when they're going to be rolling past Goat. It is going to be a difficult bridge crossing for them. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it here. Depends how close Goats stop. They might try and go further on into the island, and I wouldn't be too surprised at that. They know that there's going to be so much fighting around that bridge. They can play a little bit deeper in and wait to pick up the pieces from it. They're playing the longer game here, and in a third place spot, that's what you want to be looking for. Unfortunately, though, for them, Alter Ego have already managed to find first blood. Papra Supermassive losing one of their players over towards Milta Power on the east side.
I'll tell you, one thing that D+ is very good at is getting to weird zones very quickly and then holding them from there onwards. Loops is in their way and they will be passing through side by side. It is a weird situation where for Loops as well as D+, there is a consideration to be made here where as you're rotating, you see another team and you just don't take shots. You prioritize getting into the circle and finding a position. I think that's actually the smarter move to take in an international. I think D+ and Loops have both committed to that.
That's a little roll up there, as we saw from Falcons. They're still in their one vehicle, Blank. The thing I didn't take into account, though, to be fair, is that Goat will not have had time to loot that much, right? So they're not going to be super prepared to go for that hold. It's not like you're coming in a minute, in 2 minutes time. And fair enough. So maybe the one vehicle rotate was necessary to just get them across, and they'll be able to grab a couple more vehicles, especially after taking down a player from Goat who was lagging behind a little bit, and they'll be onto the south side. So as much as I hate to see it, I feel like maybe the one vehicle rotate could have been the right call in that exact, very specific scenario, and no others ever. Purple Supermassive, though, after taking the fight in Milta, going for a swim, taking a dip, got their swimming trunks on.
Yeah, that's a long swim as well. And with Tiamba holding Novo, I mean, that was a pretty obvious hold as well. Oh my God. Of Doran. Something else.
You just always love to see it.
That is pretty special. I mean, you just always love to see it. Every single time, even though you kind of expect it from teams at this caliber, it's always pretty on the screen. Wolves
without hope,
without claws.
আর ওই বাইকও চালাচ্ছিল বাইক চালাচ্ছিল এই জন্য মনে করো উইদাউট স্কোপে মেরেছে তো ভালো মেরেছে বাইকে মারা ফেলা সম্ভব উইদাউট স্কোপে খুবই ফেলা যায় গাড়ি হলে পারতো না দেখেছে এর মাথা খারাপ হয়ে
Gen কত নয় ছিল নাকি দুইটা দুইটা
I appreciate the
C plus
from Papros.
আর একটু কি ড্রপ শেয়ার কর
Like, I want to slam the desk. I'm not going to slam the desk.
Good আছে না
Fair play to him. But yeah, that's rough. Definitely rough. Definitely a classic though from D plus. Getting towards this zone nice and easy. I think I respect Loops and D plus a lot more.
আরে রে কি বারা এর মাঝে মাঝে খেলা বিগার হয়ে যায়
Oh, Reefus. You might have seen it in a regional tournament, you know, the Loops stop short and trying to hold out D plus, but I think in international it's a very smart maneuver from both those teams. Just shake hands and be like, well, you know, we could either make this very difficult on both of us, or we both just look for separate areas to go. And even D plus respected it. They saw that Loops wrapped down towards the south side, so they thought, oh, we'll wrap over towards the north. In those few scenarios, it is sometimes nice to, you know, make a friend on your journeys.
No friendly attic or Goat, though, as they have more of Falcons to deal with. Ooh, Dolfalo. Give me a scare there. Redox goes down on the first peak, and with two pump actions, not peaking at the same time, did not quite work out for them. But they'll be able to get that res. And another player for Goat falls. This is all good news for Alter Ego. I wonder what vehicles they're in right now, Blank, because they are all the way over towards Milter Power still. Hopefully they've got a hovercraft at best, maybe a boat at second best. Could it be a glider time yet again? As teams are starting to compound now onto the military island, DK are taking that northern side, that north and eastern side rather of the military base itself, moving up into the hills. Observatory is found by Loops, and Tiamba are in the foothills over towards Novo.
And there is one boat there for Alter Ego, which could take the entirety of Alter Ego across. Why a few of these locations are cut out though? I think for Alter Ego, it's likely going to be a heavy, wide swing towards the west of the island. But decent sprays from Coops. Decent sprays from Coops as in a circle to estimate their way across. But again, I think for Alter Ego, I don't think they'll know to make this wide swing to the western side. I think they'd imagine that a lot of the west here is taken up by players. I didn't mention it very much there, but I am very surprised that Inner Circle just like fly past Wolves.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time. Yeah. It's got a knock though.
নদীর সাইডে শেষ হবে এটা সার্কেল রিজেক্ট যেখানে আছে
Yeah, Inner Circle do lose one, but yeah, you're right.
রিজেক্টের কাছে সার্কেল যাবে
How have Wolves let that happen? They overcommit maybe to finding that solo.
Wolves though, you're just like, well, now our life's a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of teams down here. Now we're kind of one of the last to enter.
এটারও তো দেখছি কাট অফ 100 গেছে
Yeah. Actually, they didn't even get the flush onto the Inner Circle player. That was picked up and put in a vehicle very quickly. I thought that was knocked on the bridge, but seemed like it was a little bit safer than I thought.
Yeah, basically horrendous for Wolves, honestly.
Why have they done that? Coops, why would you do this?
Why would you do this, Coops?
Oh dear.
Alpha Gaming, though, I think I'm a little less impressed. I mean, losing a player to D plus that early is a little bit sad, especially being the team that plays Sosnovka as well. And for Alpha Gaming, they're now down to just 3 players. I think Reefus is actually a pretty critical component of the team as well, in terms of finding those picks. I think he does enable the team to be so successful at times. I ended about 4 more C's in that successful than was necessary as well.
That's an interesting approach here. Alter Ego, taking a leaf out of the Alpha 7 playbook. Take it to the skies. And I mean, on the east side, it kind of looked a little bit occupied, but it was Papra Supermassive who they scrapped with earlier, right? And they're very, very split. The landing actually fairly smooth, but Rosemary, I mean, he's taking damage from somewhere. I think that might be in the blue zone earlier on, but has 5 bandages, a stim ticking him up as well.
Did you miss Alva just falling out the plane?
I think I did, actually. Blank, I was looking at the map feeds. That happened? Oh dear. Yes. That's really, really bad. Rosemary, what are you doing? Figure it out.
Well, I don't think it's Rosemary's fault. I think that Alva just ejected. in some failed James Bond movie. So, not really sure what he did there. That should doesn't pack any damage at all. But it doesn't matter. The M249 will do the trick. So, a pretty unfortunate entry, which looked so smooth, right?
Yeah, they sort of stumbled repeatedly on several hurdles. I missed Alva falling out the plane. I definitely will need to get a replay on that because that sounds like comedy gold. But Papa Supermassive able to find players back on it. Okay, there we go.
Shot.
Maybe he got knocked out of the plane here by Kamikaze. Okay,
he did.
That's so much more fair.
Well, he did get ejected, but he didn't press the button. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. That's a painful circle for a lot of squads. Heads back up towards the North Island. Oh my days. No, orangutan. You do want to play on the south side. You do want to play on the south side. Please, OG.
Oh, no. Oh,
OG,
no.
please.
This is the reject game, though, Blank. It's now or never, right? They need it. At this very moment, Team Secret, yeah, they're in the blue zone somewhere. I don't even know where they are right now. I believe they've dropped up towards George Pole, so probably still yet to come in from the blue zone. Everybody now trying to get up onto these hills. You can see Reject regrouping, but keeping a 2-2 split here. Maybe looking to further regroup, leaving some out a little bit close to the coastline. Further inland and playing the buildings. Timber as well.
Commentator
They were not playing sharp across the water.
Very much an outside chance.
It's
survival.
Very much an outside chance and survival. We're done with that type of playstyle. We're done with playing on the outside of the zone. Let's try and get something here. I mean, they're so close to breaking out into the last chance. I'm so glad that they turned around. No matter what happens to them now, I respect the decision.
Go with two players that they got remaining, fending off against GS around the corner. No shots found for GS. The door frame lit up there on the corner, but it will finally be a knock found. Unfortunately, though, there's no one else to try and jump on in. This should be resible here for Killer Joe as he spots Jafar out in the buggy, out in the open, and he gets the spray down. Beautiful stuff as Goat now up to 3 elims. They are desperately defending that third place spot and now trying to stop Alter from getting on in because they've only got Krypton, I believe. Oh, Snape is still alive as well on that southeast side, but just no HP to be seen.
Tiamba and Reject, two teams that sort of don't really want to fight one another right now. Both have hovercrafts as well. It's a very similar strategy seen from both the squads here. But yeah, really nasty circle for everyone involved. Cuts out so much landmass. I think it's one of the few times where there is actually less playable area on the map than unplayable. It's so tough on this one.
Oh, that's where they are.
Where are they?
This is west side of Sosnovka.
Yeah, so they must be. They're very far away. They're gonna
die. They're gonna die in the blue.
There's a lot of distance to go there for Team Secret.
Good.
It's not like you can exactly stop off and heal for a second, is it? In the glider.
No. Okay, I mean for Reject, honestly, that rotate from farm down towards the south side to players buildings, like I said, on the beachhead works out fantastically well for them. I just want to see a little bit of a regroup here and then hold those angles because this is a perfect way to finish out your game. I'm sorry, Reject, I should have never have doubted you. That's my bad.
They are really holding this one out. Gen.G now eliminated. So another team quite close to that boundary. I say quite close. They are at 83 points and 11th place is 66. But with GS going down, that's good news for Loops, for OG, to try and keep this one going. And on an outside chance for Reject, they've got hovercraft as well, Blank. So some nice tanky cover that they can maneuver around wherever they see fit. And a lot of teams are just trying to send over their way. Alter Ego, the last player standing, trying to chase on down. 9Z clashing with Papra Supermassive on the outside, and they have got nothing in the face of Papra Supermassive. Nico's not there, but they don't need him. They got all the other boys, and now Reject want a piece of this. Reiji scouting out Divine nades over the top. If they can win this out, this is a huge pickup to be able to clear so much territory, but they're falling back. They don't want to overexpose.
Yeah, I don't really think you can say Papa Supermassive really clashed with 9Z there. They look more like my pizza from last night as they sliced them halfway 8 times. That was bad. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Alter Ego, though, nice little Molotov. Unfortunately, Krypton basically has no HP to speak with. Less than 5% here. He is struggling. The Wolves, though, still continuing here. I mean, they've definitely been persistent in their journey. The more I watch Wolves, the more I think to myself that they're a team that makes mistakes. And that is the problem, you know. I think they're a good team, but there's a lot of mistakes that are made during the play. I think if they can shore up some of those holes in the ship, then it'd be fine. They'd be a really, really strong squad. But there's just these moments where it's that really comes back to bite them. But they've been playing much better today. I'll say that.
Chris God, challenge, and Bond is able to win that out. That's the last play. Tried to approach from the east side, but Tiamba will hold. It looks like they were doing pretty well. They're not going to be pushed through either. D+ actually moving.
China team
That's what you said. They get these sometimes. This is a brilliant heads-up decision made by D+ Kia here. To get ahead of Tiamba whilst they're in that fight. Alter Ego eliminated as well. That is a little bit of relief for GOAT, but still got Supermassive and Inner Circle to worry about chasing them down.
In my mind, there's a world where D+ is first place at the end of this. I'm not even joking at this point in time. Okay, I'm not even joking. I do feel like it's coming. It's so weird with the South Korean squads because I think day one is always terrible. Day one is always terrible for South Korean squads. And they're like, we get it. I think we understand the circle. And then suddenly they start playing out of their minds. It's just so strange to me that day one's always just like a bit more of an observer day for them.
D+ Kia rejected কাছে জন যাবে.
We'll see what they can do. Moving in, the Wolves having a little bit of a clash. The perpetually 6th place team, it seems like you said, they do make those mistakes and need to step it up. We'll see if they could do that against Papa Supermassive. The little wide wrap around the edge, and that is the go signal immediately. Stepping forwards, and Papa Supermassive down in 10th place. A lot of damage though sent back over towards the Wolves. That's coming through from Inner Circle. Defending 6th place from them. Not even allowed up to there.
Yeah, I think for Wolves, that losing one player is not too bad, but it's a very clean fight between them and Papa Supermassive. Very nice. I think Coops is doing his absolute best to make this work. And the one thing that worries me about the Wolves is that there looks to be a little bit of contention in the team at the moment, especially when you watch them on the stage. There is a back and forth. Though I do prefer for teams to be open, and especially North American teams, they can be very loud, but you know, when everything's said and done, they are still very friendly with one another. But if you want to make it towards the end, you've got to let your opinions be known here. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about there is that you know, you're fostering a little bit of this not so favorable attitude in the team. So for the Wolves, I hope they can keep their heads clear today, because there is the possibility for them. There really is. They just need one big game. That's all they need, and then they're in the running.
Tiamba trying to move forwards. D+ not allowing them that opportunity. D+ keeping things going. I mean, a little bit of revitalization. That first day, not great, but day 2, a lot better for them. They looked really cool on the stage as well, very calm, even when they were finding those chicken dinners. And now, like they're trying to convert. It seems like on the north side they have a very solid chance. Ocel's not out in the water there on that position, don't worry. The minimap just a little bit offset. He is on dry land. He's got dry boots for the time being. But it's all, I feel like for me it is still Reject that I'm looking at here. If they can jump up, and maybe as a second storyline, Falcons, if they're going to be able to actually do more than stay alive with a solo and rely on Narvalo for points.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great, is it? You know, having to basically send out Narvalo like some kind of Pokemon in the end game. Narvalo, I choose you.
Max side just Pokemon.
Low versus God.
Yeah. I mean, that's his special move, right? That's what he gets, 6 points.
Valo uses 6 points. It was super effective. Loops. Ooh, they are trying to find the shots and seemingly getting through, but not unscathed. Finding the crash successfully. Onto this corner. Goat now down to 1 player alive. 3rd place in his hands, although it's a bit safer for now. As we hop back over to this east side. D+ moving in with a solidly timed rotate, still ahead of Tiamba, but Chips is spotted. That's Loops from the south, actually opening the door for Tiamba to maybe to skirt around the edge.
There's some tough shots for top right now. Extremely long distance, but definitely making life hard for Tiamba on the very outer edge of the map. This could easily be a Wolves win. It could easily be a Reject win. Playing around this hilltop here, you can get a lot done for the Wolves. I think the unfortunate thing for them is that they're playing as 3, which makes this a lot more difficult. I've seen a 3-man win from this spot in the past. It is possible, but you have to be everywhere all at once. And that wasn't on an international stage either. So we'll see how Wolves do want to play this one out. Still 9 teams remaining at almost 22 minutes into the match. It's all these undulating hilltops which allow multiple teams to remain in this lobby for so long.
I'm waiting for Inner Circle's decision here and see what they could do as to whether the Wolves are going to have a good time or not. APG actually trying to send off to the hilltop first, not wasting any time, but immediately they're above. There go Inner Circle as well. Wolves take shots out that way.
You're crazy.
In they careen. Doran straight on top of it as well. Looks for the fight. Falak not going to allow him any entry. No quarter given, but T24 is the price they pay. The rest of Wolves, though, on the back lines will not be able to find the angle to go for the flush. Noki stepping forwards, burning Batten out of position. IQ humbled slightly on that peak, but will be able to get some healing done as the reses start to come through. This is Inner Circle's time to turn it around, but Batten again layering down these nades. A response from Falak keeps his team safe. Time and time again, he's coming in clutch, and this is no different.
You guys very slow on the uptake here. Finally moves a position. It's a long nade. Will get a lot of damage done, but he needs more than just that. And Falak once again with another strong shot will step up, takes him down, and that will be in a circle as 4. This spot is really nice to hold. Teams desire it. As we just saw from 2 squads trying to go for it. I understand what Wolves are trying to do is play the split down towards the west side, but you absolutely have to play as a 3-man in this ditch.
So much damage
the solution.
A madman, magnificent, resplendent, glorious. I mean, they're still even taking shots towards
Alter ego, yeah.
Reject to go with
Drop on a board
Defines North, shifts to the long range angle as per usual. Nobu might even smile after this game. We may get treated to the rare Nobu grin. Oh dear. All toothsome and tricky. As Reject cut down to size, the Falcons are still here, Blank, and they do have 3. They do have this hilltop. I feel like if I was a betting man, I would put money on Falcons. But unfortunately, I'm not. So it's staying in my pocket right now. Well, yeah, you know what? You know what? Actually, after what we just saw, it's all on Nobu, baby. Let's go.
Oh my days. It's so unreal. Oh, it just takes a little bit of a warm-up for South Korea, apparently. That's all it is. Dear me. I wish we saw more international tournaments with the South Korean squads. They are so damn good. And it does just take a little while. But they learn so much from these lobbies as well. And they get a bit of a reset through the year. And they come back stronger than ever.
I mean, talk about shirking the day 1 blues. They were cloaked in glory in London last year. And now it's all a flourish for D+.
Which makes this a lot more difficult. But I've seen a 3-man win.
This really is the man of the hour. He's got MVP of this game on lockdown right now. They've got 11 nades, Blank, and 6 smokes. They are in a pretty solid spot in terms of utility. And the Circle not really putting too much pressure on them right now. It's up to Reject's duo to move, and it's likely they go south, over towards the Falcons angle, a little bit closer.
Well, over P90. It's a pretty slow game, though, right now, from everyone involved. Ought to make sense for D+, considering they got 2. 2v3 is not out of the question, just requires to get that first knock on board, and honestly, so far, I haven't been majorly impressed with the gunfights coming through from the Falcons. This game looks a lot better, though. I think that despite everything, and this is more praise, but for a singular player in Narvalo, is that I think that Falcons, I've got to be really proud of this guy, because he is doing such an unbelievable amount of work for the team. And also over many, many years of play, Narvalo has been insane. I think over the past maybe year or so, he has been returning to his full form, to his final form, at least, because I think back in the day, he was insane. He had a little bit of a drop off, but I think he has a lot more hunger for the game again now.
Oh, it's lovely to see. He's not smiling right now, but you can be sure that that blood is pumping. You don't pull off a play like that and not feel it a little bit. Hopefully the adrenaline drop off here in stage 8 isn't going to be too bad for him. Got to keep the focus. Drop of the smoke train. Knows that Reject have moved up, and he's using that smoke train just to get over this ridgeline. Knows he would be exposed otherwise.
Big thing
to take
for
a single team approach.
Big thing for D+ here is that they got a massive resupply. Right? There were so many teams that fell down that ditch. So you have all the nades that you could ever want. You've got all the smokes you could ever want. You can see here the Falcons actually has less nades on 4 players than D+ have on 2.
There's more in the boxes as well. Let's sit around them, right? Even if they throw them out, doesn't mean they've only got 11 to play with. It's just a question of what they could fit in their backpacks right now. D+ moving in. Chips scouting around, still having vehicles here is pretty powerful stuff. The Falcon smoke has been thrown on out. Reject looking to hop into the buggy. Koa still watching this run out. Reichi not going to use the buggy. It's a little bit low on HP. And actually, how has he just done that? Okay. Oh, no blue down. Okay, maybe that's go time. Falcons, move in. Get something done. Try and take some presence. Redox, nade over the top. Chips, dropping the smokes. They've got so many to play with. Now's the time to use them. That nade looks good. The bounce is on. It's
behind.
Just short. Doesn't quite tag the flush. Just behind the vehicle. Nades are coming at them from both angles. They get the res, but it's immediately re-knocked. Chips needs to get out of there. Needs to get out of there now. Nolbu, he's going to be taken away. And everybody's descending. The Falcons rolling over the hilltop. Maybe D+ are down, but the nades are hitting Reject as well. Chips is clocked. And it's D+ down. Apollo against 3, and Falcons are able to find a chicken dinner. The main story, though, Blank, was Nolbu that game. A pretty decent chicken dinner for Falcons, all things considered. They played that south side well. My money gets returned to me, Blank.
It does.
Goodness me, it's I mean, it really was that north side hill and Nolbu. The headline, a magnificent play coming through from the south.
Incredible stuff, honestly. I think for the Falcons, very happy with the way that one played out. I just see them a lot safer in this tournament. So, but I think for the Falcons, it's just nice seeing 3 of them towards that end game. Also, not an easy rotate, and I think Ralph has definitely spoken before about how those early to mid game rotates are quite difficult for them. This time, I think they identified some very strong portions of the map. They played it well, and as a 3, we can see they can still succeed. They can succeed as a 4-man as well. But for Nolbu, a warrior soul from Seoul in South Korea. Incredible stuff. Just cannot wait to see what the guys have to say about that.
ফ্যালকন টিমের কোনো ইয়া দেয় না, কোনো কান্ট্রি রিপ্রেজেন্ট করে না, টিম দেখাচ্ছে।
সৌদি আরব
কই সৌদিও তো ইয়া দেখাচ্ছে।
সৌদিরই দেখাচ্ছে।
ফ্ল্যাগ নাই তো।
দাঁড়াও ফ্ল্যাগ দেখাবে।
ফ্ল্যাগ নাই।
আরে ফ্ল্যাগ ছিল, সবগুলো কান্ট্রি ফ্ল্যাগ দেখাচ্ছিল। এটাও দেখাবে।
And the Falcons get their first chicken dinner here for Group Green, and it couldn't have been a better time. And I'll tell you what, it was on a toxic military so great here, Max.
And you could see when the circle popped on phase 1, all the teams being... Okay, I guess we'll have to rotate early across the bridge. But Falcons here really want to highlight, sure, they didn't do too much rotationally speaking, right? They were just kind of idle a big portion of this game. But this is why you hold on to your bloody utility until the last circle. Because you can just use it and just bully teams. And really but you just bully teams, and those nades were so pinpoint accurate, Niptura. The G+ and Reject couldn't do anything but get pushed against the blue even further. That was such a good use of utility for Falcons, and finally, we are seeing a Falcons win. Hopefully, the first of many.
It's about time to see them at the beginning of the match go all in one vehicle, which is questionable, to winning the whole thing. I love seeing that art coming in from Falcons. And to go back to your point, yes, the utilities were amazing. They were pinpoint. They were great. But it was backed up with the timing of a lifetime. As soon as they saw that Elam feed light up with D+ Kia, they went, now is our time. Let's go. Nades at the ready. Just immense pressure onto both of those teams. They could do nothing about it, Max.
Yeah, it was a tough one, definitely, for sure at the end. But yeah, you said it. The timing was on point to go through the replays here of this game. But you know what? We're talking about Falcons a lot here, Niptura. We need to... Oh, that was the 4-man car rotation. We need to talk about D+'s timing. This game, those Eastern fights, they were just... when they wanted to execute it. After day 1, there was a bad day. They've been on an absolute killing spree, and once again doing it today on this match.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that. I love seeing that so much. And what I love about that as well, Jukes, right, is like the team, they not only decided when they were going to do stuff, they also decided when other teams were going to do stuff, right? Rejects tried to push up on them, and they went, no, now's not your time. They said, no, go back to your compound. No, not allowed. And that's exactly how it happens. So that control of teams is just great from them.
I mean, they showed us why they are By the way, Wolves, I think they could have had this match. If they would have played it a little bit more aggressive once they got that position, rather than from Nobu was ridiculous. But yeah, let's see these rotations here, Max, man. From a beautiful military circle. These are some of my favorite to watch.
Did hug that southern coastal line for a big portion of this game. They do eventually center up very, very rapidly. But I want you to pay attention to D+. They were pretty center on phase 1 going into phase 2. And then they're like, we don't really want to be center of the circle here because there's going to be a lot of attention thrown away. So we're just going to hug the eastern side insteid. And by doing so, they open up opportunities for them to look at fights break out. And third party, they leapfrog the fight of, I believe it was Orangutan versus Chamba Niptura. And those leapfrogs and third parties and the timing of those fights were paramount for them to get into the late game and have an opportunity to get on that podium finish. D+ here showing some S+ tier gameplay in my opinion.
Leapfrog against Tiamba was just insane. Again, the timing. The leapfrog against Tiamba was just insane. Again, the timing coming from them is really, really nice. And it is going to be reflected in the points, right? Tiamba gets 6 points. D+ Kia get 10 more. 16 points on the board for them, and Falcons getting 19. Just one shy of that 18-point game. Probably looking for, but hey, a 1 point isn't going to be able this early on in the day. And honestly, it's so nice to see them try and step it up in the final day. A little bit too late, but not too late, right? It's like too late. They still have time to make it work for them.
Not seeing too much presence. They're going to be slipping, especially when you've seen teams like Reject Hodrix that are initiating a bit of a comeback, especially on this previous Wrangle game. It's not boding well for them, so we'll have to see how that goes. As Novalo, the Frenchie, yes! MVP of the game, let's go. Now, this is the Novalo that I know and love in these matches.
Oh, man, that's what we've been waiting to see it, for sure, right? I mean, we're waiting for that Team Falcons win. I'm so happy they got it now. And honestly, I'm going to say this, right? I think that they realized, they had to have known that it was D+ for sure. And once once they saw that knock, I like that both teams. I'm like, no. This is the team
এখন
we
এই
need to
পেজে
take out
টপ
right here, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that we need these points so bad. And man, do the Falcons get it? They had 68 points before this match. That jumps them up to 8th place with 90. Right, Max Bet. Look at all the way at the bottom right there. GS, right, weren't able to put up any points, 66 in total. It's a few points, right? They put up a few, but not enough.
It's not enough for right now. Currently, they're going to be 8 points behind Loops without chicken dinner, so kind of rough for GS team. But it did impress quite a bit. I was enjoying some of the plays from Trifar in particular during the Gauntlet stage.
পরের ম্যাচে এপিজি তোমার কয়টা ম্যাচ আছে দুটা গেল
12 থেকে 16 নম্বরে এরা বাদ হয়ে যাবে যদি এরা 11 এর মধ্যে না ঢুকতে পারে
They are 8-1. Two good games. They could possibly put in the middle of the rankings, but they could move on into the last chance. So Reject, we need to see this kind of momentum. There might just not be enough games for them to make that.
টিম সিক্রেটের এই অবস্থা আমি বুঝতেছি না তারপর প্লাস টিয়াম্বা এদের এই অবস্থা
in my eyes. Now, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see them definitely going at least for a top 3 podium finish, like a really strong win, but hopefully win in the Miramars. I think they're going to use these Orangles to really just build on that momentum. One thing I do want to point out in these leaderboards is IC making a comeback, right? 103 points for them. They're getting pretty close, and they actually had a really good game that game, right? Trying to push up on players. They did get that push done well.
তারপর
A little bit late on their third party, but they were just able to just back it up with immense firepower. But honestly, for me, continuing to have a good day today.
টিয়াম্বা না টিম সিক্রেট তোমারিয়া
There's a team called that? I don't know who that is.
পিএস যেটা টিম সিক্রেট ওটা ভিয়েতনাম আর উপরে দেখো টিয়াম
Looking at the top 4 players of this game, we do have Narvalo.
না টিয়াম্বারে অবস্থা তো ইয়াতে ছিড়া ফেরা
would normally be the MVP. The MVP has to be on the winning team. But I think that if we took it purely based on stats, it would have to be because, oh my goodness, Niptril. I don't know what happened to him this game in particular, but he was a demon. And he would see you would not even survive 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He just decided he would everyone back to the lobby. He was like, no, you're not allowed. And he was just going through the rest of the lobby so methodically. Really love to see that. And hey, you know what? Regiosio, first time we're seeing a Rejects player on this board. It's nice to see 5 eliminations. Hard work putting on those points.
Yep, and like I said, they needed him because the difference, right? So in the last game, we saw they were at the cutoff,
red group
and RC had 38. All right, so that difference right there is a total of 23. Okay, have 74, and RC have 51. What that is a difference of 23. Right, so they have not progressed at all, right, in order to make it into the last chance stage. So I'm gonna say it again, it's chicken dinner time. I think they extended it to one more game, but at least in my eyes, this is the last one for me. What do you think, Max? You think they have another one? Do you really think so?
I think this is another one. I would say, you know what? Yes, they still have one more mid-game that could happen for them, but after that, it's going to be game over. Halfway through to that, we need to see something come out from these guys.
Ooh, that's bold. That's bold, Nepturo. What do you think?
I think, I agree honestly with Max. They have a little bit of extra time, but they don't have much.
D plus একটা ব্র্যান্ড কি হয় একটা
Take it on over to the stage with Falcons and Narvalo.
D plus কি
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Narvalo from Team Falcons. Narvalo, great quick rotation from Pachinki to military. And honestly, I want to talk about your gameplay because I feel like your gameplay has improved from day 1 to now the final day. What have you been doing the past 2 days to make sure you can actually perform here on the final day?
I think for this game, it was the call, the print path was north, and we said if it's military, we should be first to reach like the island. So it was a call to go quick and go on the left side, no block, as we kind of did, and then I think we move way faster and with better position. We take better position for 10-second zone, and that brings us better end games.
Definitely did. Now you're currently, I believe, 17 points away from the top 3. Do you honestly think you can make it to top 3?
Before the game we could think it's too far, but after this game we did, I think, more than 17 points, so like, we just need like 1 more 2 other games like that, and we should be close to the top.
Well, Team Falcons, the confidence is back. Let's see if they can make it to top 3. Back to you.
Let's go, man. You know what? I totally agree. I think Falcons are absolutely in that range for top 3. I think this could be a big game for them here. I think they could definitely handle a mid game, but it's going to be a chicken dinner coming up from some of them. As a matter of fact, I'll go down to you, man. What do you think about that, Max?
Oh, it's quite simple. Oh, wait, I'm in French mode. French accent. Put me in the French mood. Sorry. For them, it could definitely be possible for Gen.G. I mean, we saw they could do Miramar, right? They got themselves a Rondo also yesterday. Very good game over there. But Miramar is the map that stands out the most to me when it comes to Gen.G. But Wrangle, if there's any map that we want to see more from Gen.G right now, it would be this map. It would be the grassy patches.
Yeah, it would be. It's what we need to see, especially because, you know, they need the points. They need the points, and they need to go quick because those teams at the bottom, they're still pushing, still going. So honestly, it's not so much a Wrangle. I think for me, it's like match 3, done deal, needs to be done now.
Let's see if they can do it right now. The last Aaron Gale of the day. Let's take it over to our casters.
Are we going? We've got one more after this. We've got one more Aaron Gale. We've got 2 more to play, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Match 16 will also be on Eric. So don't go getting ahead of yourself there, Dukes. I know you want to see who's qualified, but we are going to have to play all of the matches here. Sosnovka military base over towards Stalba. It's only fitting we start the play from down here where our last match ended. Sending straight over the top of good memories. Well, quite a lot of good memories for Nolo and the Falcons. And going over towards that Stalba position on the northeast side.
Yeah, it's a bit of an Eastern playing map here, so it's slightly more difficult. It's actually getting tough for me to talk about these games at the moment because there is so much happening. And there's so much to analyze. There's so much to go over. It's pretty tough for me. I mean, for Wolves there in that last game, I really wanted to talk about their position a little bit more just because it is a case of, as that 3-man, you no longer have the power to split off like that. And you sort of have to suffer a little bit where you don't have that angle off towards the western side to watch for approaches, but you have to hold that ditch as a 3-man because it's likely people are going to crash onto you. So this is what I mean by just these small errors in gameplay. Again, hindsight's 2020, and I'm out here of the observing desk.
Oh no!
The double is insane. Maybe I cursed him out. I said I wanted to see it yesterday. Give it to us. Oh, fair enough. We'll give you 2 today. Fair play. APG get a nice start. They got immediately over towards Millie Base as we started down there nice and early. The difficulty comes in the fact that this moves away from Millie Base at that plane path. So if this is coming down from Kameshki towards the south, teams who are dropping late could have readjusted on their plane path, on their parachutes. In this case, it's really only Gen.G and GS who get a decent start. So another game potentially
whole military zone.
Try and lift themselves out, but it's getting really far ahead of them now. It loops with 74 points, 51 and 50 apiece for reject.
APG সুন্দর একটা সুযোগ আছে যদি ওদের উপরে সেন্টার হইতে থাকে খেলতে পারে অনেক কিল পাইবো চিকেন পাগানো একটা কিল পয়েন্ট সেকশন পয়েন্ট দিয়ে উঠে যেতে পারবো একই থাকে জাস্ট ফোর করতে পারলে
I don't think too many teams will have had time to fully review what happened there, except for maybe Goat on that rotation. They'll know that Falcons move fast. But if they get stuck down in a fight here, the Falcons are going to crash straight into the back of it. This 3-team traffic jam didn't exist in the last. And GS are holding the East Bridge in the meantime, by the way. We'll see just how sticky this spot can be, because Tiamba moving in. This is on the East Bridge now. There is a roadblock. There is the Caltrops. They're out. They're looking for the backstop player. They're looking to try and disparage them from getting on forwards. Des has to drop down, though, and that's where the backup needs to come through for Jafar. It's there in spades. Buckets of bullets pouring down on the bridge. And now the off angles are brilliant coming on through. There's finally an answer from Tiamba, but it's too little too late. They've lost the majority of their players. Nobody else is pushing in right now on this East Bridge either, Blank. So no chance that GS get run down by a third party.
I think it's one of the few times where I think that you just like send it. You just send it if you are Tiamba. The initial shots weren't that great from GS. I think Tiamba respects it a little bit too much. They crashed just directly into the wall before they'd taken barely any damage. I don't know if it was the optimal play there in that instance. Again, it's one of those things where it could have gone either way. Tiamba drops out, they get the first 2 knocks, and then it's easier to play from there. But I think that really hurts Tiamba's chances, and I think they have to take a bit of a gamble on just the straight approach into the zone. Nepturo actually brings up a really good point about Falcons, where if they get another strong game here, potentially is the initial rotations. Now, me and you have been covering PMSL EU for the longest time, John, and we know that the Falcons are some of the slowest to rotate. Because they play Pachinki so much, they already have this central position. I actually think that that position hurts them a lot. It is one of the strongest locations in the map because it is so central, but it's made for this almost stagnant gameplay coming through from Falcons, where they don't make these initial rotates to strong positions. They'd rather play Church on the west side of Pachinki and wait things out if it's a western circle. I think here, because we do go to Sosnovka, it forces Falcons to take risks, to make moves, which they wouldn't necessarily otherwise go for. And they're benefiting from it. It says a lot to me.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they are now, after that game, very much in with a chance of getting top 3 here as well, Blank, is going to be great news. And they'll love to see a game that they just succeeded on very, very... in a very big way, right? Repeat itself, hopefully. But the second circle on last match was also a big factor. It forced a lot of teams to move to the north side of the island after having tried to rotate around, occupying a lot of the area, a lot of the ground around there. So that was a big factor in the dynamic of that last zone, of that last match. We'll see where we're going to go this time around. But at the moment, Falcons on the south coast with Gen.G, who went across the bridge very, very early.
So they scout that out, and they're going to peel back off this one. No reason to try and push this. And they've already scouted out a huge amount of space on the western side. Sadly, this is eastern leaning on the circle, so it could be further over towards where Observatory is. Alpha Gaming actually goes for a different maneuver. You know, they'll take Observatory for themselves, try and get that high ground nice and early. I think for Alpha Gaming, it's almost weird where I think that this team will perform even better than they have here over in the grand finals. I think that sometimes, but there is a sense of boredom that comes through from this team at times, where they really do want to get stuck into things. They don't like playing slow, and they are so good at the game. And I think that does create difficulties for them. That's a sad shot. That's a sad shot from the Observer. It's like looking at the beached buggy from Tiamba before they fell down. It's like, oh, like I was watching a funeral.
Well, you know, you got to celebrate him somehow, I suppose, whatever you can. Papa Supermassive still embroiled in Milta, though, with Loops, who are able to find Tron B. No answer either. A little bit of damage, but I mean, this should be extricable for Loops. Neither team really wants to stay here for too long, though, Blank. I mean, there is a lot more of the North Island in this circle than in that first match that we saw today on Erangel. So you do have maybe a little bit more time. The circle could also still... it's got maybe like a 10 to 15% chance of going back to the mainland. It's very unlikely, but is technically possible. We'll have to wait and see for that one. So maybe a little bit more time, on average, they could go for it. And especially with the state of this east side bridge, it's maybe actually safer to stay in Milta for the time being.
Yeah, I think so. It's getting very messy around this region. Reject actually get there quite early, so because they were moving so quickly, they passed straight by from the northern beachhead. Could come back to bite them. I think they're trying to control as much area as possible. For OG, it's a long rotate for them down towards the south side. Very difficult stuff to make this one happen, but it's certainly possible. I think maybe potentially going for the western bridge might be a slightly better idea if you are late to this. And there are a lot of teams that play over towards the eastern side. With this being Eastern Plane Path 2, that's most likely the locale that teams are going to be passing through. I think Inner Circle realizes that as well, and they're going to pass over towards the west, which actually cuts out a lot of teams for them they'll have to go up against. Is Papa Supermassive up against Loops? Loops, the most in danger right now at falling down into the bottom 5 at 75 points, just 5 points clear from GS.
Yeah, it's real rough stuff on that 11th place bubble. Obviously, we're playing in with 2 bubbles on this blank. If you were looking at the top 3, we were expecting it to be somewhere around 140. That's what we saw from Gauntlet on the same number of matches. It was 141, I think, and 4th place was 140. So very, very close. Could be around there. Could be a little bit different. So if you're up and over about 150, that's where you start to feel pretty good about yourself, right? That's where you start to feel a lot safer in terms of that top 3. And then we're playing with the 11th place bubble, which is not easy at all as well. It seems to be very, very closely fought. Probably going to be closer to around that 90-point boundary. So getting up and over 100 sees you a lot more secure into those at least last chance stages.
There are teams now breaking into that as well. Even towards the middle of the pack. I mean, Papa Supermassive is not far off breaking that century. Valo spots out Wolves, who a little bit too close for comfort. I think this should be a free Elim. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's stepping too far there. I was very worried. I think any other team but Reject.
French greed.
Valo might have gone down there.
He wants those points, man. He wants to bump himself up in the tables.
Fair.
I respect him for it. But you are right. I think that what you said at the start of the game is very pertinent here, where Falcons actually are in with the running now. I think there's only one spot up for grabs, personally. I don't see D+ putting on the brakes anytime soon. I think Alpha Gaming have done more than enough this tournament.
ইনসিক্রেটের সমস্যা কি জোনেও ঢুকে না কিছু করেও না লড়েও না করেও না তাই নাকি
কি হয় বলবো
They're playing
slow because they just want to get
regular points.
এর মাথাতে কি চলছে না চলছে কি তুমি তো জানবা
Even if they just play like this, there is going to be a game today where Alpha Gaming has a strong position and they win from it. And I think that will see
they just try করতে কিন্তু উঠতে পারে
finals, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it as well. I think Top in particular, you know, having a wife and it's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to juggle. It just shows that even at 26, like, you can still perform extremely well. As long as you it's incredible.
On Loops, I've been on the grind here for a while, trying to get on into the zone, but I've had to go all the way to the west side, and OG might draw them short here. Lots of damage already felt by both of these teams by the blue zone. We're into stage 3, so it's non-trivial to deal with. Nilzada, a nade in. Oh, shotgun shut down there on a tanky. I don't think that's going to be resable, but there's the off angle they were looking for. I think did that come through from Aru? No, it was the burn coming through from a tanky with that Molotov. Both teams are going to start to lose players. I think disengaging, if you can, is fairly wise at this stage. OG going to try and make a run for it. Loops maybe actually getting this res here. It is still resable for just a moment longer. We'll see if they can make it work. And yeah, OG, off they go on their bike or buggy or whatever they can find.
It's a very, very tough approach here for OG. And again, this is what I meant earlier, where I think this Western Bridge is probably the more wise decision. It takes a while to get here, but OG definitely make it. They're going to take a quick scout over the bridge, quick reset on the meds, but there's no one waiting here. Why is Alterigo still on the north side?
The analyst chat is lighting up with it.
Worried? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that it seems like they're very worried about what's going on the other end of things. Again, it is hard to scout that far across. And I think that they have seen multiple times that teams have been held out in this location.
OG's player এটা কি
you gotta make the cross at some point.
Okay.
I'm worried that what they're
Dude,
going to do
put
is
this
they're going to go for the
special
smoke,
Victor
in which case
team
they give up a lot of vehicles.
knock by correct team of the ball, knock by
That's what it is.
back up.
Apple was hungry, guys. It's all just an aid of a full stomach. You can't be taking shots on an empty stomach.
Come on, we're getting to stage 4. And 9Z is coming in behind them right now.
Maybe they're not waiting. Maybe they're the ones bridge camping.
Maybe. Come on.
I mean, that's the
time
only
to
thing
go
I can
now. It's time to go now. Thank you. Thank you.
You can't get yourself picked back up after this stage as well. So very dangerous to stay out this long.
Very much a situation of AE there yet. Slightly bit more of a tongue twist than I thought that was going to be.
It's 2 letters, mate.
But they've got across. They have got across. Circle back over towards D+. Over on this north side, playing the hilltop. I think this is a messy circle. It's a very messy circle where you're over towards Millie base as well. We are cutting in a little bit of airstrip, which isn't too comfortable to play in. I think Wolves want to get out of that area as soon as possible. Great shots from Alpha Gaming, though. Goodness me.
Ooh, okay. Shots down towards Alter Ego. They'll need to pick these reses up as fast as they can to get onto this next zone. D+ ahead of them to their west. You've got 9Z who actually, rather shockingly, just sends straight on through, but straight at the Reject. Already they're getting torn to pieces. Reject very happy to see some points delivered to them. The question is, can they find the shots? Can they find those shutdowns? There's only one left on the inside. I don't think it's going to last too long here. Reject looking for the last player on the end. A rotate in. Comes through as we see a crash from Team Secret. They're still alive, by the way, in the picture-in-picture on the north side, actually towards Loops, who might be in a bit of trouble. Can't quite find their way in here. Milos is just trying to hide in the corner. This is really nasty. I mean, step out. This is a shotgun. This is a shotgun bonanza. If he steps out at the right time, there's one. Looks for the next as well. Gets the flush. That's huge. Has to go for the reload though, and now Reject are on the revenge path. They lose one player, but they do shut him down.
Oh, that's disappointing, man. You know, it's just one guy in there, just re-peak. I suppose that they did set up the compound quite well in terms of the 2 monster trucks denying the entry towards the window. So if they get crashed on, that's how they defend versus 9C. But that is a situation where you should be able to hold out as 4 and just refrag onto the player. The fact they lose one there is really bad. From a central position like this, it's really not good. I also think that there is something to be said here about 9Z, where although they're on 87 points, they've had some good games, there is a lot of impatience from this squad. If they can't find a good position early into the match, they will just send it, and oftentimes they will just find themselves in really sticky spots on the map.
I mean, to be fair, you don't expect the team to be bridge camping you on the east in that scenario, right? Like it may be really confuse them, but that's the sort of thing I guess you also can't afford to be able to get confused in a scenario.
I mean,
like
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sending center.
Oh yeah, but like
Reject.
after that, you're like, oh, we got to go. There's obviously a big roadblock ahead of us. We've just got to go for a mad dash, right?
Also, just play on the edge.
You must assume if there's a team still on that bridge, that there are teams ahead of them, right? So you assume that the ground in front of them is very, very full. I'm really trying to give them as much leeway as possible here, and I will admit, maybe I shouldn't. PUBGM Supermassive though, down to their last player against Loops, and they're not having a good time of it. That is going to be PUBGM Supermassive eliminated, and Loops are up to 9 elims, Blank. You said they were the team that's most in danger of dropping down. Well, they are certainly acting like it.
Yeah, and again, the more points that Loops gets in this match, the harder life becomes for a lot of our teams underneath. I mean, for Reject and Tiamba, I think Tiamba, it's done now. I think it is done. I think for Tiamba, it is almost impossible for them to get back up towards that top side. Gen.G looking to head over towards GS, who are also chasing. I think GS are also struggling, but likely will retain a place.
Oh, Falcons, they're moving in. I think Redox
inside the bottom 5.
Quick has to hit the deck. Falcons know exactly where he is. That'll be pinged out on the vehicles, but they are pulling back a little bit. Icon taken down. That is the last player of GS, and that is APG rocking up to this one as well. The Falcons on the far side really causing some hurt, some pain there. So they're up to 5 elims. APG as well, looking to tip themselves up and over. They've broken that barrier that we were talking about. They're over 140 now. And they want one more at least. Dammy under pressure from these nades. Has to reposition with the Falcons flying into that far hillside as well. He's not going to last too much longer. Up to 142, and the placements are going to kick in soon as well.
Yeah, for Alpha, all this is right about now is just not giving up first place. The jump up in prize pool between second and first place is quite a lot in most PUBG Mobile tournaments. We still reward our top 3 very handsomely, but it's usually first place who does take the biggest cut of the prize. And I think that, to be fair, for Alpha, they were playing it fairly slow because they knew that they were holding on to first place. But as soon as D+ started turning up the heat, they knew they needed to get a little bit of a game in. And this one's been good. I mean, even taking the opportunity to move over towards Observatory, that's very unlike Alpha Gaming. K takes Krypton along with him in the vehicle. I think that, you know what I would quite like to know is how many vehicle eliminations Docs had this group green. I think we're up to 6 or 7 now at this point, which is more than I think we've ever had in any one tournament.
Oh dear. He is certainly a terror behind the wheel. Whoever gave him a driving license, I'm sure they're regretting that one. As we take a look over towards the rest of this game, though, teams are starting to fall fairly quickly now, Blank. The hilltops to the north being fairly convincingly under control by D+. It's in a circle. Again, that fight for the top spots here. 3rd place, very, very closely fought between Goats and Inner Circle. Losing players here would be nasty. They've already taken a lot of damage, and as D+ they're up against, Osal has the off angle, and Goat are taking shots as well. Oh no, Inner Circle having a really bad time, but they've still got Falak. What can he do here? Favian close by, but backing off to find chips on the res.
You know what I would quite like to know is how many vehicle eliminations Docs have this
Chips goes down. Nade over the top towards Falak. Does get a lot of damage done. Favian over towards Falak. We'll find it. So that's in a circle, taking a lot of damage. They should be able to hit Chips back up. It's nice to see.
Take a look over towards the rest of the game, though.
This is really Reject's game right now, with one player from Inner Circle to fall down. It's D+ with a central position. It's kind of D+ versus Reject again, Blank. In this circle, the southeast side that we see on the picture-in-picture is APG versus Falcons. D24 is going to give it a good go. Does find Nolbu, but going to get taken down in response, and yeah, that's going to get flushed out. IQ is actually still alive in all of this. He did manage to get out of that fight. I am still focused, though, on this fight on the southeast side as we zap on over to it. Falcons with 4, APG with 4 as well. Haven't really been able to find success on either front of that, and APG disengage. They're moving up to the hills to the north and maybe looking to fight D+.
I think for D+, try this fight between D+ and Alpha Gaming, which probably will break out towards the end here, will be the fight of the day. Very excited to see this one happen. Falcons need to break wide, though. Currently, Joel is holding this spot. For the Falcons, we did speak about this at the start of the game, that there is a big chance to jump up above Inner Circle, above Goat into that top position. And honestly, if we get Alpha Gaming, D+, Falcons in the top 3, whew, what a lineup that will be going through to the grand finals. It'll be unreal.
I mean, I don't think going into today anyone would have called Falcons with a chance.
But this last day, it's the last day always. It's always the last day for the Falcons.
It does seem to be, doesn't it? There's something about it. They have a potent resurgence built within them, built different somehow.
It's curious as well, because usually Alpha Gaming's like the team that is the last day champions, where in that final day, Alpha Gaming is known to put up a disgusting performance. But right now, they are taking 2 knocks straight away. Falcons equally are suffering versus the Wolves. Just Doran here, actually.
Oh, no. What?
Way!
Yeah, top 3, the Falcons, APG, TK. Oh, yes. Hang on a minute. Doran? You can't be doing that.
Close the Doran door right in the face.
Oh.
I'm sorry I didn't give that too much fanfare. It honestly, it felt like, oh, okay, he's gonna get 1, he's gonna get 2, and then Falcons will clean this up. Surely. You do not see 1v4s in international. I cannot believe Doran pulled that off.
I mean, blink and you miss it, right? Doran was... Oh my God. Okay. Well, Wolves, again, not really probably going to get too much out of this game, but certainly ruin it for the Falcons. The decision to crash onto Doran for the Falcons, though, might be an interesting one here, Blank. It feels like...
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Okay, sure, you can transition towards Reject later on, potentially. They're right on the edge of the circle with it, though.
I mean, Alpha had that lineup. They couldn't really crash that way on the East. Also, if they do that, Reject have sight lines. I think you don't see many players, if at all, over towards the silos. So you just send it and you get soloed. I don't think the decision-making was poor. I think the gunfight was terrible. But the decision-making, I don't think there was an issue of it.
I mean, we need a replay of that at some point. Hopefully the desk will have that locked down because Doran's going off right now. He's got a lot of smoke to play around. He's going to get up to the wall. Reject don't want to let him cross, but they don't really have too many options right now with the smoke cover.
I do like for Doran, he's now just using the entirety of Falcon's utility to cross 20 meters.
Oh, dear.
I'll show you guys how to use util.
Oh, my God. Doran. Reject's like, where's he getting all these smokes from? What? Is it more than one dude? What's going on?
Some kind of nimbus cloud off in the distance.
Oh, dear. Well, he's made it to the wall.
Great job. We did it.
That's so many smokes. That's insane. OG getting found on their last player. That's Goat to pick it up. Goat have been down on their belt buckles for a while as well, trying to crawl across the open ground. 5 teams remain. 8 eliminations for APG as well on this match. They've only got 2 remaining. Doran. No, you
Come
can't.
on.
You gotta stop, man. You've got to. You cannot be allowed to do stuff like this. Kraken has to hit the deck. They can't really take free fights here. Doran steps up for another. No, Doran.
Crazy.
You can't do this. You can't do this. This is PMGC. It's not allowed. Someone put him to bed. It's his bedtime. Surely he's out of this game. No, Doran! Stop it! Goats go down to the Giant Slayer! What is this man doing? He is absolutely crazy!
Oh, dear me. Doran will not let you get a foot in towards this circle. A 1v4 into a 1v3. This is magic on the main stage. We talked about rabbits out of a hat, but right now, Doran's making this look easy. Gets up to the wall as well. Probably should go down to this nade, though, but goodness me, what a game it's been from him.
Okay. Oh my days. It looks like the nightmare's ended though. And now we're up to the hilltops. APG on 2 players alive. They've got a lot, but it's D+ again in this late game on a military island circle. They find top, and now they're looking for Ziol around the corner as well. 3rd place guaranteed for APG. At least that will put them over 150. Or maybe not quite. If they can get another elim, that's what they'll be looking for. But still very, very close. Very comfortable to be in the top 3. Our first team to really, truly lock it down towards those spots. D+ want to join them, though. And with a chicken dinner, you think that they might be able to. A reject again in a late game circle.
I
mean, it's almost more important for reject than anybody else right now.
It absolutely is. For Reject, they want the chicken dinner, but they got 2 big dogs in the lobby, and right now they're the Chihuahuas. Let's see if they can make it happen. Versus the best of them. Ziol takes some shots off and towards the distance. They do have the low ground to play at the moment to Reject. They have vehicles as well, which is the main thing, but D+ continues to send nades their way, keep them backed off from their position. D+ looking to fight out for those bragging rights at the top of the tables.
I mean, Reject have the center of the circle though. D+ are sure they've got a higher ground position, they've got an angle, but they're gonna have to move. The points denied from APG.
It's mean.
They
It's mean.
they actually picked up the res in order to deny an extra point there, which is kind of nasty. To the blue zone it goes, but now D+ versus Reject. Already a good game for Reject, but they desperately need this chicken dinner to stay alive in this tournament, to jump up towards that 11th place bubble. Nate's going a little bit long onto Ragey. Downhill, it's always a little bit tougher.
If a Reject, they need the chicken dinner. Like you say, it's imperative that they get it. It's not a case of, oh, it would be nice for Reject to have a chicken dinner. At this point in time, it is a case of it's required. It is a necessary procedure for Reject to grab a chicken dinner here to finish out this game and give them that chance, because I think even with a chicken dinner here, it doesn't take them out from the bottom 5, but it will be the first stepping stone for them.
D+ starting to run a little bit lower on those nades. You can see they've only got 3 remaining. Ragey cooking another. If he finds a knock, this would be huge. The Molotov, probably a wiser decision. Force Ragey off of the tree. The question is, does it land on spot? It definitely did. Look at that damage tick away. He has to fall all the way back to the vehicle. That's going to be a lot easier for D+ to go on towards. They know the damage is there, and they have to go over the top now. Spray down towards Divine. D+ trying to stop Reject from getting on in. And Ragey looks for the spray down, a wild rollout here, and Apollo finds it. Osal is down. They do not find the backlines. They haven't got a knock yet, and there's another one onto Fabian. D+ is starting to fall blank. It's now 3v2. Reject have the inside of the circle. They are desperately climbing towards those tables, towards that 11th place, but Ragey will finally go down to the nade. One more left. Look on for Apollo. Nolbu with the chance here, and it's going short of the tree trunk.
Divine's down, leaving it all down to Apollo in a 1v2. An impossible task ahead of him. Pulls the pin on the grenade. Reject looking to reject defeat here in the face of impossible odds.
No,
but it's not
they
meant
can't
to
quite
be.
do it. Oh no, they can't get all the way across the line. D+ take it away from them. Still not a smile in sight. They are so cool, calm, and collected. Into the top 3 with them. They looked pretty solid before. Now even more so, but Reject in tatters. A lot of points, but is it enough?
Absolutely not. I think for Reject, they did get some of the flushes towards the end there. 6 points total. You can see that they are absolutely dismayed about that one. But again, it is a little further down on this journey for them, because it's a long way coming that they need to go to get out from that bottom 5, but they're getting some successes today. There's still 3 more matches to make it happen, but Reject historically, those Miramars haven't been fantastical for them. I can only hope that they can continue here, John, with these strong performances, but for D+, it is another big game in the pocket.
And with that insane chicken dinner, I think D+ might have just secured their position to the grand finals. And how do they win this game, Max? Back against the wall, so little time left. They had to hit those knocks, crazy rotation on the end, but then Chips just said, nah, I'm gonna hit these shots, and they shut Reject down. What a game.
Oh wait, D+1? I was just looking at Dorian the entire time. I thought he won. No, but genuinely for D+, such a good game, playing this high ground position for a majority of this game, right, Niptura, just having so much control on the entirety of this lobby. And again, what did we say the last game? This is why you hold on to your utility. Those nades made that transition from high ground to low ground so much smoother for D+. And even then, it wasn't easy to execute as Chips, he's popping off and he's back to be an MVP of the game for sure.
Yeah, and really, really nice stuff coming in from them. The control, what we saw there. Even, you know, IC being able to push up earlier on in the game. I didn't hate the push. It was a good idea. It was pretty well executed, but that third party just helped DK to just overrun them and get rid of that threat. And after that, nobody really looked at them very much. So really love to see that coming in from them. Talk about utility though, Max. I do want to just point out the smokes for Rejects. looked really good, actually. They were having, they had
Hello.
an idea of what they wanted to do, and they were doing it as much as possible. I really liked the sparks coming out from them. It just gave them a little bit more space to work with and just really effectively block out DK sidelines.
Yeah, as Frank said, another team now that became an Nimbus Cloud. It was not Doran, it was Reject. I really enjoyed that one. But no, Reject, as you said, really good piece of utility, keeping them safe from the off angles of APG. And one good point spotted out by John during this game. Actually, APG going for a revive to then deny just takes the extra point out of the equation. It's a small thing, but again, when you're competing for top 3 that can really have such a big impact, it could really have a devastating effect on the leaderboard.
I mean, we saw last year, right? Last year's PMGC was decided by just 1 point, right? So, I mean, anything you could possibly do, you got to pull all the stops out right here. By the way, nice little setup there on the bridge from GS. That shut down Tiamba, and with that one, I think they're completely out of this match, man. But you know what? I finally figured out what Chips, kind of Chips is, Max, man. It's Ice Chips. That man's cold, dude. So cold towards the end. I kid you not. Ice water in his veins. When it comes down to like those super clutch moments, he shows that, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Beautifully done there.
It really is just levels of rivalry like Sanji and Zoro in One Piece. They're just like, I'm MVP, no, I'm MVP. I love that kind of storyline. Someone needs to make an edit on Instagram. That will pop off, I'm telling you that much, but it would be great. But
edit
this
this.
clutch though. 1, the 2. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, no, Valo, I feel you, bro. I would do the same thing if I were you.
You know what I love though? That's insane. This is insane. But you know what I love? It's like, listen, guys, Falcons, it wasn't you. It was just Doran, because he turns around and goes down goats the exact same way. Doran, man. What an MVP coming in here, Max.
I can just hear Novalu say, oh, bordel, right after that happened. Just the pure French anger coming out. But another military island, Hot Jukes. Like, are we going to get a third one? Okay.
Bring it back. Let's go.
Hey,
One
do it
more
again.
time.
Oh, my. I can't even break down rotations here, but of course, teams that go on the bridge rotations early on are going to be given a significant advantage. D+ here, though, taking it a bit slower, able to play the northern edge instead and pushing away Reject. Good plan from them, Niptura. Respectful. We don't want to take an early game fight and take an early casualty. That's really going to hinder our chances for a win. But everyone's fighting, and D+, big chilling. We got the high ground.
You know what? I got a question.
Away. This is easy pickings.
Niptura, I got a question for you, right?
Yes.
When it comes to Reject, all right, would you want another military base finish? Right? And the reason why I asked that is because back-to-back militaries, they put up some decent points, right? But the problem is, Loops put up 9 eliminations. You can see it right there. And that, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, the difference was 23 points. So even though they put up 14, they only move up 5. So if you're Reject, do you even want to go military again?
You know what? I actually wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all, because I think it would be an interesting thing, because we see D+ get the back-to-back. We see Rejects get a back-to-back top 2, right? So I'm very interested to see if it does go there again, how they're going to play it. My only concern would be other teams now are going to be trying to do something different, so they're not predictable, and that might put RC in a little bit of a disadvantage.
Just drop there at that point, you know. Just compete with APG, you know, for all the means, just send it. But no, looking at the leaderboards, I feel like we have to seal the fate of some teams here, Hot Jukes. Team Secret, 0 points. Tiamba, 0 points. For me, game over. For me, those teams, you're going home after this. I don't see a comeback. Not only mathematically speaking, but also in terms of their presence on the battlegrounds. It's just, we haven't seen anything. So for me, Team Secret, Tiamba, it's game over.
I agree. I agree 100%. And that's going to mix things up for sure, right? Because right now we're going to have 2 teams for sure that we know are not going to make it to that last chance stage. And guess what, Niptura? That means they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that is so true, especially when you go, it's the final Erangel, we can just go all for it. It's the, and you know, game 6 as well, it's going to be the final game, we can just go all out. And yeah, as we look at these leaderboards, there's reason to do that, right? The top 3 looking pretty solid, maybe down to 6th place, could really just try and snatch that 3rd place away from GOAT, but it's looking like the first 2 now kind of have run away with it, Max.
I'm looking at the bottom of the leaderboards in particular here. Reject 65 points. They started off the day with 38, man. They're having their best day so far by a significant margin too, and they're just shy of pushing themselves finally out of the bottom 5, Hot Jukes. But they need to keep going. They can't stop now. Reject, if we want to see one Japanese team in the finals, it can only be them.
Well, let's see if it's gonna be, but get your popcorn ready. We're gonna be right back after this break.
Hello.
কিছু বলছো নাকি?
Gua ingin meloloskan tim inilah ke grand final karena 2 kali PMGC kita nggak loloskan. The emotion driving me is like probably a bit of regret. We were so close, especially in the last games. We were top 1 and then we dropped down to top 3.
이제 저희가 작년 세계대회 우승했던 것만큼 압박도 있고
去年はなかなか世界大会優勝 PMG を優勝ということもあってモチベーションがなかなか保てずにいて PMGC に出場することすらできなかったんですけど I would definitely say I'm coming back for redemption this time. I believe this is my moment to win PMGC this year. I have a really good team. We prepared really well. So if there's a chance to win it, I think this is it.
쉽다고는 생각 안 하는데 저희가 또 PMGC에 왔으니까 저희가 열심히 하고 또 실수하지 않으면은 우승할 수 있다고 생각해요.
Aku senang banget sih di saat ini kita bisa kembali lagi di PMGC yang dimana kita salah satu tim satu-satunya Indonesia yang bermain di sini.
私たちはこれまでにも世界の舞台で強烈なデビューを飾り、このチームがどれほどの実力を持っているかを証明しました。チームメイトを信じていますし、再びやり遂げられると本気で思っています。
I would say I want people to remember that I always tried hard and no matter what the result, I showed up in a good way. Sekarang waktunya kita untuk membawa piala ke Indonesia lagi.
目標はシンプルです。グランドファイナルに進出し、世界タイトルを取ること。今回は PMGCトロフィーを持ち帰ります。
저희가 더 열심히 해서 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
We're getting closer to find out which 3 teams will be going to the finals from Group Green and which 5 teams will be eliminated and which 8 teams are going to go to last chance. I'm joined by none other than Snape from Alter Ego. Alter Ego currently not having the best performing day in comparison to what we've seen in the past 2 days. For this squad, what is the plan for the remaining 3 matches to make sure that you can actually get up there in the top 3?
Oke, Snip, kalau kita lihat performa AE sekarang tidaklah begitu yang seperti kita lihat dari hari-hari kemarin. Ya, apa rencana AE dan juga Snip buat sisa 3 game lagi nih?
Paling dari kita karena 3 game sebelumnya nggak berjalan baik. Game 3 selanjutnya mungkin kita harus menjaga dari kayak mentalitas dari setiap individu ya. Jadi kayak dari kepercayaan diri sama semangat tuh harus yang kayak ya kayak biasa aja lah. Yang kayak kita tetap harus percaya diri sih. Itu paling dari sisa 3 matchnya. Kalau dari segi makro nggak begitu banyak berubah lah kalau dari kita.
Yeah, I mean, we not really perform on the first 3 match. I think for the last remaining 3 match, it's the game of like mentality. I think for each individual, they still need to like prepare their mentality. They need to be that confident. It's because right now it's not about macro, it's not about micro, it's about the mentality itself. So we're looking forward for the next 3 game.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that that mentality is going to shine through. I'm pretty sure all of Indonesia is going to be hoping for that. Thank you so much, Terima kasih. And I have none other than Rafinha here from Loops Esports. It feels like history is currently repeating itself. Last year at PMGC, you were able to qualify to last chance via 11th place. Right now, you are in 11th place as well. How will you be approaching the last 3 games to make sure you can make it to last chance?
Então, ano passado, no PMGC, vocês acabaram classificando para o Last Chance em 11º lugar de novo. E agora vocês estão no mesmo lugar. Então, como é que vocês vão fazer esse approach para o próximo jogo, para os 3 últimos jogos finais?
Bom, a gente está aplicando hoje aquilo que foi planejado nos 2 primeiros dias. E a gente vai tentar manter essa pegada. Começamos muito bem as 3 primeiras partidas. Então é manter e o top 3 ainda é uma realidade. Então continuar mirando sempre no topo. E é isso, atingiremos.
So, we would continue to apply all the knowledge that we have in the game, and we were planning for the two days. But we are really happy. We started with like 3 very good matches, and we are happy. We are aiming for the top 3, and yes.
Hopefully that's going to be the case because good thing you had those 3 matches. You have had a resurgence from Reject. You see OG as well currently playing with nothing to lose. Those teams are 18 and 19 points away from you. In the last 3 games, do you think that Reject or OG can catch you?
Então, a OG e a Reject estão bem próximos de vocês, né? Estão ali entre os 19 e 18 pontos. Você acha que eles conseguem pegar vocês?
Never.
Ooh, no need for translation on that one. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The final 3 games of Group Green are coming to you.
Never. That's what I like to hear right there. That is how you do it. I'll tell you what, though, from never to always, man. We got to show love to the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to be the one and outplay the rest on the global stage. I'll tell you what, Loops need to apply all that knowledge and then some if they want to make it into the top 3, because mathematically it's still possible, right, with what we have left today. But it's going to require a massive game here and now, because these teams in the mid
So I'm still waiting for his moment. He was for a time, right, the new generation of top-tier players from Americas, and unfortunately ever since the end of last year we haven't really seen that kind of rise to fame and glory from Ratterboy. But I believe, Loops, you know what, there's still time, there's still 3 matches, there's still an opportunity for them to make that ascent.
Yeah, let's see if they can make that ascent coming up soon. But you know what, we heard close for sure. I think that we're gonna see these next matches heat up like crazy, because I mean every single one of these teams, they don't want to go to last chance, right? They want to make it into those finals. So how much percentage do you think we're gonna see like the gameplay level up in these last 3 matches? What do you think?
I think 50%.
Cool.
I think 50%. It is a big increase, because I think these teams are kind of holding out just a little bit, but they're definitely doing a lot here already. There's not that much holding back. There's just a little bit, but I think just the intensity from everybody is going to make this a really interesting last few games, especially if we look at the 4th to 6th place, or even 4th to 8th, really, actually, because IC are at 104. In 8th place is Falcons with 96. That's less than 10 points away from a 4th place position for Falcons. So all of those teams in between there definitely going to be bringing in the heat in this next game.
I mean, if I can bring up a negative point here, it's Ultra Ego. I'm sorry, they had such a banger performance yesterday. There's nothing to show for it today. Really, this team just kind of disappeared. They've had some decent entry points and stuff, but when it comes to fights, I mean, look at this replay. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they're just getting completely squashed, literally, by the competition. And there's still time to make up for that maybe rough start of the day, unlike Doran, who clearly has redeemed everything here for his squad. But Ultra Ego here, Hodjux, this is the team that I need to see something from this next game, because otherwise, with how performant and consistent the top teams like APG and D+ currently are today, it's going to be tough to make that comeback.
For sure. I'm going to say it right here and now. I think we got 1 slot left available, and I think that's the 3rd place position with Goat. Yeah, I mean, D+ have 139. They're playing so well. Alpha Gaming, they're putting up points regardless of the situation. I just think it's too tough to catch them with how chaotic these last 3 matches are going to be. That's in my opinion, you know. So man, we just see the level up right towards these last game, and we just saw Doran 7 eliminations all by himself. I'm gonna tell you, if the Wolves somehow pull it out here and steal that 3rd spot away from Gold, it's going to be 100% due to that one particular play. I mean, that's a huge difference maker right here, Max.
Could be. I'm actually, you know what? I want to talk about Doran real quick. The fact that we've had so many top-tier players from Romania in the past, like, I'm sure some people are going to remember Eastern Stars. I'm sure that's going to be a callback for some people. And you had Octavian, you had Kapahala, all those guys. And now the one player from that region, Niptura, from Romania, that still stands strong and is able to perform globally from Romania is Doran. You would have told me like years ago, I would have said there's no way, but no, he is the guy who stood up and is still here to this day.
Gosh, that's just a blast from the past. You took me back 2-3 years there with some of those names, Max. But yeah, Doran, it's so nice to see a player stand out even back then, continuing to do his thing. He's still on top. He still got it. It's really, really nice to see, especially at this level, right? PMGC, and you're able to get 7 eliminations on your own. 1v7 in PMGC is insane.
Hey, by the way, you're talking about Romania, Texas, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We claim him now, baby. He's on the Wolves. He's rocking that USA flag. That's 100% American. I love to see that. I love to see those plays, and you know, it's these crazy moments, these clutch moments that will just revitalize a squad. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you get in these high pressure situations, sometimes you need someone to make it happen. Hey, for D+, it's Chips in my eyes, right? Because anytime the going gets tough, you got to hit those hard peaks, that clutch shot. He's doing it for the squad. So, I mean, the fact that D+ has Chips and Nobu going crazy too, man, I mean, it's they're looking full steam ahead to make it to the finals. I'm gonna lock them in.
While we have a bit of time, while we have a little bit of time, I'm trying to think right now, who would be the group green MVP? Like, you got so many contenders. Of course, Chips.
Ooh, that's a good question.
You got Top for APG. Goad had some step-up players. Rosemary had some great games yesterday. Like, who would be the one to claim that one? I think it's really close, way closer than what we had during Gauntlet, right? It showed that we kind of had a good inkling of who it would be, but right now, I'm not sure.
I think it's gonna be Chips, to be honest, and the reason I say that is because he was daily MVP yesterday. Was he? Yes. Yes, he was. And then today, we've also had a game from him where he was also MVP of that game, whereas Top has not. So Top was MVP day one, but the performance overall from Top has not been as standout as Chips continues to do. And so I think it is probably gonna Chips be just inching that one over the rest of the lobby.
That's a good pick. Who do you think, Hot Jukes?
I think that's pretty close. I think it's pretty close right there. I think Alpha is not done yet because I think we saw them do that split in Rondo. That made me hype because I was like, you know what? Yeah, if you're gonna mix things up, you really only need one good game if you're Alpha Gaming to lock yourself in, right? The fact that they did that split and they sent Top, like one of their top fraggers out there to try to get some eliminations, I thought was a brilliant play. I think that if they get a normal set, there's no pressure at all on this squad as opposed to everybody else pretty much for the most part, Max.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I just cheated a little bit. I just looked. It's currently in order, top 5 MVPs for day 1, day 2, not day 3, but it was Top, Nolbu, Rosemary, Falcon, and then Chips. So Chips actually way lower than I expected him, Nipcho. That's kind of a surprise. Wow.
I'm so surprised by that, but I suppose MVP for the team maybe isn't MVP for the lobby, right? He's doing things for the team, but maybe the other guys are just out eclipsing him just that little bit more.
Well, man, now is the time, folks. You gotta put up some points right here, right now. It's the grassy lands of Arigale for the final time today. John, Blank, who's gonna win this one? Tell me, I wanna know.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like Doran's gonna win this one. I don't know who he's playing for or whatever. I'm all about him, right? That seems to be the case. He could just take on the entire world on his lonesome. Wow, wow, wow. What a monumental achievement in that last game. But all jokes aside, it's definitely Team Secret winning.
Do you think Team Secret's getting a win here?
100%. Every time, it's Team Secret. No doubt in my mind.
Maybe another Sosnovka circle, potentially. That could be certainly interesting. I think the players probably hate it, though. But yeah, we are getting another game. Probably back to normality, maybe, I hope. In terms of the circle, 2 games in a row that favored over towards Reject, and their immediate rotate across towards Sosnovka was very much needed for them to try and get themselves out from the bottom 5. I think that they are very lucky that they got the double Sosnovka, but they also played it fairly well to get towards 2 endgame finishes. Not quite the chicken dinner, though. Definitely a possibility on that last match, but not quite able to pull it off. The squad's out nice and early, though, and the circle is far east, so no worries on that Sosnovka finish this time around. Alter Ego get the head up towards that north side around Lipovka mansion split, so they should have a decent start in this game.
Yeah, that east side will be the focus now, as they send it on in. Nicely dropping down here. No roadblocks around those bridges. Now, we were looking a lot at the Falcons over that last match, right? And Doran was looking at them too. But the thing that they really adjusted in those last 2 matches was the speed at which they rotated in the start of the match, right? Away from Pachinki. They have to rotate again this match. The question is, will it be as fast without the pressure of a military circle?
To be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless something has drastically changed within the calling structure of the team, I don't think it's going to be a fast rotate from them. I think that the odd thing for the Falcons is how are they going to bounce back after that last game? Getting 1v4'd is never a good feeling, even in your games at home. It feels even worse on a global stage. So I do think for the Falcons, they might be reeling from that. And again, it's unfortunate because I think the other games of the day were pretty good, honestly, and fairly successful. And even that rotate there was not the incorrect decision. And I'm hoping it doesn't set up a mental block for them going forward, because it certainly could do. I think for the Wolves, that game might have cleared those heads though, right? That's the big thing. You could be happy with how Doran performed there and hope to do him proud in this game.
I mean, the difficulty, though, for all of those teams is that third place is still moving, and GOAT on 112 has a little bit of a lead. We were saying it before, right, that APG and DK at this point, if they're able to get 10 more points in today's matches, they've got 3 matches to do just that. They're locked in. They're pretty much locked in already. It is a question of who's going to join them. And all the way down to the Falcons have a really solid chance of getting there, right? With a good game, they're on top of that pack. From 112 down to 96, I mean, you know, it's not easy, but a 16-point gap can be made up fairly quickly if you're able to get into those late games.
GOAT's hold is tenuous, to say the least, over in third place. D+ being 10 points behind Alpha Gaming is certainly not something I would have predicted after the end of day 1, but yeah, here we are, which is very cool to see, honestly. The reigning champions having some of those life signs come back into effect as D+ do rotate straight away from Rozhok. They get a nice east side start here for them. Towards the center of the circle as well, they should be able to get towards. But you're right, there is a lot of teams towards the middle of the pack, pretty much from 8th upwards, that can challenge for that third place. Though at any moment, there is this case that any moment GOAT could change that. Because if GOAT get a 20-point game in any of our next 3 matches, it does become very hard to catch up to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still just out of reach to really say who our top 3 are looking likely to be. We know who 2 of them are very likely to be, but yeah, absolutely. And then down towards 11th place as well, there is a bit of danger there. It's in general less likely that they'll find those big 20-pointers, but it's definitely possible, right? From probably, I mean, it would be difficult for OG and Reject to make it, but it's still just sort of on the doorstep. But certainly GS have a chance. Loops, GS, Gen.G, sorry, and 97G, they're sort of in this state of flux right now, with GS definitely behind that pack. But whose spot would they take with a big game? That remains to be seen.
Let's take a look at the center of the circle at the moment. 9Z coming in from Yasnaya. They do have an outpost down towards the south side, scouting. D+ also moving their way. And Reject so far have done a fairly good job to start moving up towards the top side of the middle of the lobby, let's say, at least not the top side at all. But currently in 13th place. They're still a hefty 18 points behind though. And that, again, there's a lot of points to be gained. It does require Loops to not have a great game either. So for Reject, they just have to keep pushing all day. For GS, it's a little bit of an easier story, from 71 up to 83. And we've seen GS make some fairly decent maneuvers. It's still feeling hit or miss with that squad. For OG, only 1 point behind Reject. I think OG is the cutoff of teams that are able to get in towards last chance here, being at 64 points. But again, that is another strong set of 3 games for that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very, very difficult. Again, we were thinking about that bubble towards the lower end being somewhere around the 90s, maybe low 90s, could be pushing up a little bit, especially given where we sit right now. It is very, very difficult to imagine that Tiamba are going to be able to get 40 points in 3 matches. And for Team Secret, 70 points, no. It's impossible. Even though they're going to win the next 3 matches back to back, you're just not. It's just not happening. Imagine, you get 3 20-point games back to back, and you still don't even qualify for last chance.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, you'd be on
exactly.
81. Yeah, so it's rough. It's definitely rough. I think Team Secret is the only team that is completely counted out here. But even for Tiamba, if they go down here, then they're also counted out.
Pretty much. That would be nasty news for Tiamba. Alter Ego really want these points though. You can see where they are on the tables right now. 5th place. They were up in 3rd. They've been up in 2nd as well. They've been dancing around that top bubble. But for now, they're in 5th with a team 1 point ahead of them, a team 1 point behind them, and plenty more behind that who would be all too willing to usurp the spot and take some of that prize money and the all-important ticket to the finals. Goats moving in on the southwest side with APG behind them. The circle goes back out towards that western side.
For Erangel here, this is our last Erangel of Group Green. It is also the last chance to get stable points and more so stabilize your position in the leaderboard. I think if you head over towards Miramar, as we've seen multiple times, some of the circles are so hectic. And the big thing about Miramar is not the fact that it can't be played well, but you get towards the end games where the circle can really only support 5 teams at most, and that's around about stage 6, stage 7. So there's less chance of you. Unlike Erangel, where you get to stage 6, stage 7, you can have like 8 or 9 teams in those circles, which gives a lot more chance to our squads to have a strong finish there. But you might just be cut out by luck, essentially, in Miramar, whether you can make it or not. You need to make sure now on this last Erangel that you secure that position and make it a little bit easier for yourself, basically giving yourself a buffer going in towards Miramar. That's most important for GOAT right now because they already have a small lead. They could extend that out further. Their life becomes so much easier on Miramar because they can just play it slow.
Yeah, it's potential to be a little bit more relaxed there. You'd love to see it. You do not want that pressure of knowing, oh, we need to get like a 17 elim game here to do something on these tables, etc. It's really nerve-wracking, and you do not want that on your conscience. Teams are starting to line up very, very linear down the center of this circle blank. That Yaz field presence being really felt on that west side. Everyone wants access to the mansion fields if it goes northeast. It does start to splay out down towards farm, down towards Milter, with that lumber yard on the southeast side as well. But on the north side, very much along the road south of Yasnaya.
In secret, you find loops. That's a big deal, especially for the 11th place position. Rafina, lucky to get away with his life there. I'm surprised he didn't find that final shot, but they will look to see if they can finish off some more. You have to hit that, finally.
Oh, 2 of his teammates sending over his head. Lovely bit of stunt driving there coming through from Team Secret. Even if they can't make the points work, they'll try and look pretty doing it. And they do manage to get, you know, a decent chunk out of loops and very likely to pick up another point at least. So well done them. Congratulations.
Well, the big thing is that getting 2 players out from 11th place, the 11th place team, is actually a massive deal here for Reject as well as OG. Stops Loops from progressing too much and gives yet again another chance for both those teams to put up some strong points here. And with OG being able to play up towards the north side, play in heaven, you know, this is a really strong chance for them to get a good game on here.
Absolutely. They need to regroup properly, though. If they don't find it in time, teams will start to crunch in. Goat moving in from the southwest side with the Falcons out to their west. Wolves on the northwest of this still D+ ahead of them. Goat do have a challenge here. They don't really have too many options, and Gen.G already finding their way in the building that Killer Joe was trying to scout out. Papara Supermassive. I mean, you can't stop off there, really. It's too close to the edge of the circle. Want to get a little bit further. The 2 from Loops, GS, everybody's sending now.
You've got to do. I mean, this is an awkward area of the map to be playing in. Still have Mansion in play. No one really wants to go for that just yet. They're waiting for the circle to make a true decision on where it's finishing. D+ just sends center. They're quite happy with that one to play in that position. Again, Alpha Gaming down towards that southeast side, playing it more towards the edge here. They will have to sweep through teams, but it's a team that has the capability to do that massively.
No one getting fully stuck into a fight just yet. But I mean, it is APG really on this eastern side. That sweep through, maybe. Papara Supermassive there as well. Probably the first team to face Alter Ego potentially around this prison mound. Tianba, hey, they still got 4 players alive, you know? They're fine. They're doing okay. They can still do it, I believe. Well, don't even know if I believe myself on that one.
You Captain optimistic today, honestly.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Loops trying to move on through and actually finding an opener to Papra Supermassive.
Yeah, 1 point. That's 2 players is good. Definitely good. But Papra Supermassive losing a player there to a 2-man team is pretty rough. Playing alongside this ditch. Sits around the dead trees. It's a okay position, put it that way. Requires smokes though to keep teams off your back. Also easily crashable. Your outpost as well is also gone due to loops, which does make this a bit more awkward. Waiting for stage 4 now to pop. Wolves on the northwest, 102 points after that game. True heroes performance from Doran to sit them there.
I mean, I'm surprised that the teams have managed to compact themselves into this area. I mean, the blue zone isn't quite fully upon APG, and maybe that's going to be the go time. But APG can't find the shots, and it's actually Tiamba to draw first on that engagement. And nade over the top is huge, gets the flush, and another knock to APG. The circle sends all the way down to the southwest, so OG are going to have to move. Can't play that Evan combat anymore. This is big news for IC, and for GOAT, and for Falcons, and maybe even for Reject.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, Reject being able to move him from that south side's massive. Also, big chance here now for D+ to get ahead, right? Get first place. First place over in PMGC 2024. Now looking to top the tables here in Group Green. Will be a great marker for what's to come from this South Korean squad. But yeah, you're right. For Gen.G, Inner Circle, Reject, this is all very promising on this next circle.
I mean, it's kind of nastiest, I think, for maybe GS in this scenario. Who are closest to chasing down. Well, I mean, they're trying to get away from this hilltop, but Alter Ego actually sent up towards this fight, right? They're losing all of their players now. Over towards just Alva now remaining. That's not friendly. That's not fun.
Yeah, I meant more as in, like, why is Tiamba suddenly insane at the game? Like, not why are they bad, because this is crazy. They've just taken down a lot of the tough parts of the lobby here pretty succinctly, leaving Alter Ego, who were challenging for a 3rd place position, now with just 1. And Alva, I don't think he survives here, and he does not.
No, they're done and dusted. 5th place at the end of this match with 2 Miramars left to play. I mean, they're just going to hope that GOAT and IC go down as well, aren't they? And the Wolves. I mean, and actually half the lobby. It would be great for Alter Ego if you could all just, stop playing right now. They'd love that.
I mean, I think there has been a little bit of lackluster performance from Alter Ego today, but fair enough as well, where you look at those circles, it's been really rough. Finally, you get to play a decent one, and it's very open. It's a hard rotate for them too. They get caught off towards Prison with 2 teams playing around that location. 2 teams, which I might add, have basically nothing to lose here as well, with Team Secret and Tiamba playing extremely aggressive.
There's a real firecracker about to pop off, I'm sure, there. But GS are crashing. 2 teams chasing for that 11th place bubble. GS moving down towards Sarah, but he has got that outpost to reposition away back towards the rest of his team. Will they be able to do so safely, securely? Reiji, though, not so lucky. Spotted on the off angle and immediately flushed away as well. And that's a point added to the tally for GS, with loops going low, down to 1 player. They definitely want to make this game a big one. See how far they can go.
That's an all boot striking from the northern side. But Tiamba's not done yet. The nades, pins pulled, and Team Secret looking to hit the deck here as the explosions come through very quickly. Good damage will find 1. Xeris should go down to the splash damage there, and does. Tiamba decided that they can play PUBG Mobile finally.
Yeah, they've been allowed to open their eyes, it seems, on this one. A nice pick up there. Wolves trying to make the dash now across the open ground. OG trying to stop them. And they have got a beautiful line up there for AKOP. Doesn't quite connect for another knock, but slows the Wolves down a lot more. They've got 20 seconds to get back up and into fighting form. With the tanky getting rezzed as well, OG are on 4. They have to move 2. The question is, where do they go right now, Blank? It's open area to the north of Shelter, to the north and the west of Mansion.
Wolves who need to make their way out, but like you say, they are surrounded on both sides here. Falcons looking for a little bit of redemption from that last match too, as Alpha Gaming takes this opportunity just to swing through. They see the smokes down over towards 9. See that swing straight back round again. Worth their time trying to pick that one up. I think for Wolves this is an extremely difficult run out. They are pincered at the moment.
Certainly are. Tiamba taking down Papa Supermassive as well. They take a knock. Oh, that's all the way out the back, actually. So Bond might actually be a full casualty. Wolves crashing across the road. The Falcons were trying to make their life hard, and that is going to continue to be the case as Wolves are getting torn apart, crashing into OG. It's not friendly. I think it's just Bat now remaining. Meanwhile, in the picture-in-picture, the south side is getting real hot between Reject and GS. Those two teams looking to chase for that 11th place bubble. I don't quite know who's in the lead right now, Blank, but I feel like GS might have this one. Reject taking heavy casualties.
Apollo nades his teammate. And that is it, done and dusted. 65 points now for Reject and not much more. But GS do profit off the back of that. 4 elims on that game. Wolves down as well. Egos will go out. It's just Baton left remaining. Good nades coming through from 9Z over towards OG as they try to cross the road.
It's a difficult crossing, certainly. I'm just looking. I just had a little chuckle. I looked at Tiamba. They've got 11 eliminations, Blank. Yeah, we're in minute 20, right? Like this. It's very confusing. I don't think they're going to be able to get too much further here. They're out in the open, but they do have a position in this next circle. We'll see if they can maintain it for a little bit longer. OG also heavily suffering. This 9ZG layering the nades on in, but one nade sent back their way could be beautiful. Falcons having a tough time in the meantime as well. On the other side of it, the other flank against OG, and they find Narvalo.
I mean, Narvalo's been down for a little while now. OG do take quite a bit of damage there from the Falcons. It was instantly healed back up again. Redox does get knocked though. Ralph will have to send out, try and pick him up. Good shot there coming through from OG. Will take down Koa, and now with just Ralph remaining. This is where you want to see OG push. That's exactly what they do. Well done.
But the next move, again, they are trapped on this north side. Goat have to move as well. Do they want to try and stymie OG, or do they want to try and get closer? Remember, they're defending their 3rd place right now against IC, who have position in the circle.
Okay.
Nice little pick out there as 9Z try and roll on up, but Tanky has other ideas. He's going to stop them dead in their tracks, look for more spray downs. Finally, a turn on the corner is there, but the rest of OG now need to pick up the slack. AKOP can't do it, but the teammates are still rallying, and a Tanky stays alive. One player now for OG to pick them back up. For 14 seconds before the zone moves, they might just be able to roll out as 3.
Really good stuff. Again, Tanky is definitely my favorite player on that squad. He is very slick with it. Some insane maneuvers from his side of things. I think he's been a thorn in the side for a fair few teams as well that maybe underestimated him. D+ though, they send across. There is shots from Gen.G. I think D+ trying to finish off that fight between them and OG, but seeing their teammates getting blasted out by Gen.G in the background, sees them run back towards the rest of the team. Tiamba still taking shots, but it's Gen.G to do most of the work there over towards GS. For Gen.G, this is a big deal for them. If they get a chicken dinner on this game, that does shoot them back up into the hundreds alongside a lot of other squads.
Oh my goodness me. It is really their time to join that fight, it seems, but Goat are still alive, Blank. On the western side, they do have to get on in, and in a circle, maybe a little bit more happy because they are in the circle on this next rotate. D+ with one player left standing. trying to rack up as many places as they can, but Chips out the open will be taken down, and the point goes to OG, who are now very close to GS, and they're behind Loops on 77. OG with the crash, actually, over towards Gen.G's position, and one of them's knocked on the wall.
Oh, for OG, this looks a lot more aggressive. It looks good. I mean, they are trying things today, and I like it. I really do like it. Tanky now on the side wall. WizGod has to move up in the vehicle. There is a nade sent out. It's a little bit too far, but a nice Molotov will cause Dammy to be sat down on the side. Nade goes a little far again from Gen.G, but GS assaulting from the sidelines too.
I'm looking at Goat crashing into IC. That's the battle for third place popping off right now in the picture-in-picture. It's really, really dangerous stuff as Gen.G look at a climb, but a nade from WizGod is able to land on target. Goat are looking to keep this crash going. IC hopping out, but can't quite find on the spray down. And there's a chime in from Tianba, who is still alive, by the way. Oh my goodness me, there's three very important fights happening right now, Blank, all at once. As on the south side, it's Goat who take down IC. 6 elims now, placements into 5th place. And there's still that Lone Ranger running across the open ground. And no, hang on a minute. He has got his teammates still going with A-King behind him.
Tianba getting themselves up towards the wall with 12 elims on the match, by the way. Gen.G at 10, OG at 10. You can see teams are really pushing as far as they possibly can to try and get into last chance here. We are so close on the tables for 3rd place. We are so close on the tables down towards for the last chance. A Tanky finds Quick. Tianba steps up but can't find the shots onto a Tanky.
Oh, he's dodging down there. Goat may be onto a winner though, Blank, with Gen.G starting to wane. This could be the time that they solidify that 3rd place, move it out of reach for almost everyone in the lobby. Inner Circle could have been the last bastion here. OG lock in some placement points. You saw them just flick up into 12th place, but they are still short of 11th. Their game is over in 5th place here. 2 more maps to play. And an 8-point difference between them and Loops, who sit still on the bubble.
Oh, come on. That was... You shooting above him, dude. It's not that big of a drop-off. Finally gets the job done. Yeah, for Goat, you're absolutely right in terms of maybe they could finish here. The big thing is this. 14 elims from Tianba is extremely silly.
Oh, dear.
And does see them with a chance.
I mean, it kind of does, right? On a 85-point bubble, Tianba on 64 when you've added in these 14 elims. I mean, that's doable. They've already guaranteed a 4th place in the placements. They're definitely going to be less than 20 points. Fewer than 20 behind that bubble going into our Miramar stage. The question is, how much further can they go? Because they're out in the blue zone, and they do need to push further forwards.
Yeah, the big thing now for Go is if this circle goes down towards the southwest, then I think we might have just secured our top 3. It would be a big outside chance on both our Miramars for any other teams underneath them. But if it heads up towards the northeast side, then it might still all be to play for.
Go covering that run out. Satan has the inside of the building, kind of on lock, so Tianba not actually going to go for the push. They know they don't need to commit to going for it. It would be a placement and an elim if they can go in and find that last player for Gen.G, but they can wait for him to leave instead.
It does all come down to this shift here. And it's away from them. So now Goat's life becomes a little bit more difficult. Tianba's going to walk forward a little bit. Get a slight resupply there.
Oh, felt dangerous there. I thought Cracker was going to peek out, take the shots, but I think the wall just covering it off. Very, very tense.
It's such open ground that Goat have to cross. But which of these players are going to take shots towards them? I think if it was a 3-man squad playing here in Mansion, Goat absolutely is in a tough time of it. But because it's 3 separate teams on the outside towards the east, I think Goat might just be able to get by because of the lack of coordination from all 3 of these teams on the other side who don't really want to be the first to peak.
I mean, the fact that they've got 3 players though as well, that's going to be really worrisome. They are the main team that has to move, but GS have to let their last player out. And remember, GS also chasing for that bubble. Currently on 78 points, and then you add on the placements. Blank, they're very close to already being into 11th against Loot. Another Elim, another team going down would be brilliant news for them. Smoke trains there. Go, might try and leverage that. Actually stretch out themselves.
Come on, Tiamba. Now's your time to peak. Satan's just been so quiet on the inside. And he actually might let Go get up to the wall, in which case it may not have mattered the circle pushing away from either of these squads. But look how open this ground is. ESO not taking any shots either just yet. He basically smokes for Goat too.
Now the zone will close dead center. It's going to start now, and teams have to move. The smoke's lining up. Tianba have started to push out, but stepping back into the blue zone. ESO finds a play from Goat. That's huge. Finding that off angle, finding a knock against Goat. That brings it into a 2v2v1 now. The res needs to come through. Tiamba, stop this res from happening at all costs. They need to find it. The smoke there covers off the other angle. Aching. Milo, where are you? You need these sprays. You need them now, or Goat are going to be back up as 3 up into the wall, and Satan is still there. He's crossing the open ground, and Kraken, he's able to find it. Satan goes low. He's been spotted. Aching with the angle on towards him. Looking to keep that spray going. Tiamba, look at the ladder up. They will get second, but they only have the one player to stand, and the nades from Go over the top seal the deal, and they might have just guaranteed Goat's spot in the grand finals. What a close down on the game. Tiamba making